Blue Economy Development and Coordination Zanzibar, in general for giving us great cooperation in our efforts to use research to contribute improvement in policy and development strategies, including shaping the best way to increase competitiveness for the products we produce, including unlocking the opportunities of youth and women in the blue economy. Honorable Chief Guest, Pink Hijab Initiative was established in 2006 and officially launched its operation in 2016. We have conducted a number of studies and used them in lobbying and advising on the preparation and review of various development policies and strategies in the country, with the aim of stimulating inclusive economic growth and transformation, economic and social to reduce poverty, and build the foundation for sustainable development. We have also been providing various trainings for entrepreneurs, youth, women, people to build the capacity of many youth and women to do policy business in various areas. In addition, we have provided training to youth and women through various forums. Last year we celebrated 6 years, proud of our significant contribution to the success of our nation, including entry into the middle-income countries. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the government of the United Republic of the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar for continuing to work with us and local experts in developing planning and strategies. This training is part of a program to research and build the capacity of policymakers, producers, and exporters, evaluate policies and help improve competitiveness and expand the scope of marketing that is targeted to support, strengthen the capacity of policymakers, exporters, and trade associations to review trade and related economic policies to promote trade competitiveness and diversification. The conference is funded by Turkish Air, CRDB Bank, NICE Foundation, and moderated by the Secretariat of the Professional Women Department and implemented by Pink Hijab in collaboration with various professors who specialize in economic development. Specific areas of the program are vegetable products, seaweed, fisheries, and consultancy services. We believe that our efforts, together with those of the revolutionary government, will bring about a positive change in youth and women. I would like to conclude by thanking the Honorable Second Vice President and all those who facilitated the coordination of this forum. Captain Hamad, Honorable Abdullah Hussein Kombo, Ministry of the Blue Economy and Fisheries, and the Ambassador of Turkey. Thank you to the sponsors of this program, Pamoja Initiative, Mr. Rashid, and all who came to attend. I wish you all a good forum. Before I step down, we acknowledge the support of Honorable Omar Said Shaban, Minister of the Trade and Industrial Development, who supported us with the initiative of what's done in Europe is done in Pemba. We have our seaweed products that are now regionally sold in Uganda and internationally sold in the UK. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Yunus, for providing us a background to Pink Hijab and showing us the importance of this meeting today and why we're here. Asante sana. I'd now like to welcome our guest of honor to provide our opening address. I'd like to welcome Honorable Khalid Salim Mohammed, Minister of State in the Second Vice President's Office, Policy Coordination, and the House of Representatives. Karibu sana Mheshimiwa.
Honorable Abdullah Hussein Kombo, Minister of Blue Economy and Fisheries, Excellencies, Ambassadors, Member of the Diplomatic Corps present, our special guests all the way from Kenya, Ms. Amina Hirsi, Mr. Adam Mialu, co-founder Sahara Ventures Dar es Salaam, officials from the government of the United Republic of Tanzania, and those from the revolutionary government of Zanzibar, members of the Pink Hijab initiatives who are here, panel representatives, and the special guest panelists from Pemba, the development partners online, members of the press, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, assalamu alaikum. I'm delighted to join to this morning important session of the first annual Youth Forum 2021 here in Zanzibar. And I thank Pink Hijab for giving me this opportunity to be the chief guest in this important forum, which will address the most important topics of our time, which is the confidence building measures in cyberspace. I have been informed that this forum will look specifically at how best youth and women are included in the global digital movement that currently dominates businesses and business processes in today's world. The forum has been organized in such a way that participants will get the opportunity to hear findings from an informative research that examine the main theme of this forum. The theme states that Zanzibar youth turning words into action, using technology as a tool of steering blue economy agenda in Zanzibar. I sincerely commend the organizers for coming up with this theme, which I consider it quite relevant and very timely. The theme touches on very key issues of youth, technology, and the blue economy, all of which are the essential ingredient for the fast economic growth and development. Youth are the most important part of human resource, as it is the main driving force in any nation development. I believe promoting youth entrepreneurship in blue economy has great potential in addressing youth unemployment, as it avails a wide range of opportunities for gainful engagement. Fisheries, aquaculture, coastal and marine tourism, renewable energy, marine transport and transportation, oil and gas, to mention a few, are some of these economic opportunities that the blue economy can offer for the young and youth engagement, as well as for the fast economic growth and development of our communities. Likewise, research and development in the blue economy is of paramount importance. And it is well known that the ocean have long been a frontier of opportunity for exploration and scientific understanding. It is very clear from the history of advanced economies that research drives information, and information drives technological development. And we all recognize that technology has now become part of everything we do in our lives. I firmly believe that it will continue to play an ever-increasing role in the social and economic development as we move forward, and the world is now talking about the coming of the fourth industrial revolution, with the automation of traditional manufacturing and industrial practices using modern smart technology. The Internet of Things will become standard in how we do businesses. Distinguished participants, forums such as this one, therefore, are very pertinent, as they provide a platform for informed dialogue and sharing of knowledge and ideas from diverse stakeholders on how we can improve our policies and implement them effectively. I believe that the recent findings that will be presented today and the discussion that will come up with will go a long way to inform us as a country on how to address the topic of digital inclusion among youth and women in the blue economy opportunities. Knowledge on impact and effect of issues such as digital inclusion on youth and women empowerment is of great interest to policymakers. This is so because the majority of youth and women have tended to be left out of the mainstream of economic activities. Youth unemployment has remained to be one of the serious global challenges and an issue which requires collective and concerted actions. And every nation in the world is now being confronted with the pressing need of creating jobs to keep pace with exponential population growth. Needless to say that it is a massive global challenge to achieve full employment for young women and men, as country and nation have committed to achieving Sustainable Development Goal 8 and Target 5. Countries, particularly developing countries, need to develop sound policies and a coherent strategy that will effectively address youth unemployment and in a well-coordinated and comprehensive manner. We need to clearly identify our overarching objectives and properly align all stakeholders' initiative through effective coordination mechanism to respond to the issue of youth unemployment. Realizing the full potential of the blue economy certainly will to a significant level create more job opportunities for women and youth. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, addressing the issue of youth employment and entrepreneurship requires, as I said earlier, strong partnership and sustained and concerted actions from all partners. It is therefore my conviction that joint efforts and partnership of stakeholders such as yourselves can help to address the issue of youth unemployment and minimize inequalities in our societies and help make the realization of the quest for inclusive development as aspired in our national long-term development agendas. I once again commend the Pink Hijab Initiative for organizing this important forum, which gives space for stakeholders to reflect on the findings and provide inputs and practical recommendations that will contribute to the informed decision-making. Dialogues such as this one play a critical role in providing a platform for stakeholders to be part of innovation development. My special appreciation goes to the Embassy of Turkey, but also goes to the Ministry responsible for blue economy and fisheries, to NICE Foundation and Sierra Leone Bank for their valuable financial support for this forum. I'm also aware that other partners and individuals have also been instrumental to the research project, and on that matter, I wish to give my commendable appreciation to Honorable Omar Said Shaban, who was supposed to be here, and who is the patron of this initiative, but also the Minister of Industry and Trade. And I also wish to commend the good work done by Captain Hamad from the Ministry responsible for blue economy and fisheries in Zanzibar. They have done a quite good job, which is quite commendable and appreciated. I thank you all for your time and resources in contributing to the success of this event. Distinguished participants, I urge all of you present here today to use this opportunity offered by Pink Hijab Initiative annual workshop to critically assess Zanzibar pastoral and inclusive development in the light of experiences from other countries, as shall be presented here, bearing in mind, of course, of our history and our specific socio-economic environment. I also wish to encourage Pink Hijab Initiative Trust to continue undertaking policy-relevant research and use all avenues available to ensure that the research findings are disseminated widely and utilized for the benefit of our nation. I urge all development partners and donor agencies to join hand with the Pink Hijab in this noble undertaking. Distinguished participants, at this juncture, please allow me to suggest one thing to you. If at all you will find it very useful, that you have to consider while dwelling in your discussion on, among other things, the following questions. If we can dwell the following questions in our discussion, that will be a very good contribution to the government of Zanzibar, but also to the wider audience that are present here and those who are following us through online. One of these questions that we have to ask ourselves, that what can we learn from other countries about inclusive development, and what differentiates our development path from them? The second question is that what should we do differently to achieve the desired levels of inclusive development? In particular, we should ask ourselves who are the actors and what are the roles. And the third question is, what are some practical steps that we can take as a country to support digital inclusion among youth and women in business in Zanzibar? Distinguished participants, in conclusion, let me once again express my heartfelt appreciation to the Pink Hijab for this opportunity to be the chief guest. And I wish you, and I wish to assure all of you of the government of Zanzibar full commitment in this initiative, and under the able leadership of His Excellency, the President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi. Definitely, the government and all of us are committed to make sure that we charge to the cause of empowering youth and women and enhancing their full participation in the economic processes. Let me, at this point, ask those who are here from outside Zanzibar that I want to encourage you to spare some of your time to explore the beauty of the islands of Unguja. By being here, definitely, you may find an opportunity to see what Zanzibar can offer as world tourism destination. So please don't miss this opportunity. Go around, visit Stone Town, and you can definitely spare some of your time. You can visit the nice beaches in the north of the island, in the eastern coastal area of the island, and definitely you will be amazed. And we will definitely plan for your next visit to Zanzibar. With these few remarks, it is now my honor to declare this workshop officially open, and thank you for your kind attention.
Asante Sana, Honorable Minister. Key takeaways from Honorable Minister's opening remarks. I noted that he said specifically the blue economy, technology, and youth are essential ingredients for economic development. This, I think, lies at the heart of why we're here today, and that youth is really the driving source for development of Zanzibar and Tanzania as a whole. Honorable Minister pointed to issues of youth unemployment, the importance of looking at opportunities in sectors within the blue economy. We have fisheries, we have agriculture, we have other areas of marine resources, we have the oil and gas, to look at opportunities and linkages. Honorable Minister also pointed to the importance of research, as research drives information, which then drives technological development. These are all extremely important for us to keep in mind today as we discuss how the blue economy has potential to increase employment for our youth, for inclusive development, as well as issues of entrepreneurship. Another key note to address is Honorable Minister's specific emphasis on not forgetting Zanzibar's particular history and culture and the context within which we operate here in Zanzibar. I think this is key for us all of this room today as we proceed to keep in mind. And the three questions that the Honorable Minister left us with will be our guiding questions for the day. What can we learn from other countries? I think today we'll hear from our partners in Kenya, we'll hear from our partners in Turkey. So we'll get to hear some good practice and what we can learn. What can we do differently? I think we can also really keep this in mind as we proceed during the day. And what are the practical steps? I think this is key. We'll have 3 panels today where we can look to see what are actual practical steps that can stem from this platform here today so that we see the fruits of our time and our labor. With that, I'd now like to turn and invite Captain Hamad Bakar Hamad, Director of Blue Economy Development and Coordination in Zanzibar, to start to give us the meat, the flavor of why we're here. Karibu sana, Captain.
Moja. Yes. Good morning, everybody. My name is Captain Hamad, and I'm a director responsible for Blue Economy Development and Coordination. In the coming 10 minutes, I will walk you through blue economy and role of women and youth. Of course, today I will not talk about blue economy, but I'll try to link women and youth in our blue economy agenda in Zanzibar, and I'll try to be short. If you don't mind, we have slides. We have a presentation. You could turn around and have a look on slideshow. Did you know that Zanzibar has too many islands and about 53 isolates? So these isolates are now open to business. So if we have an investor interested to invest in one of these islands, they are most welcome. And these islands, they are almost virgin, they haven't touched. And the population of Zanzibar at the moment is about 1.7 million, and 51.3% of the population are women. And youth age 15 to 34 is about 35% of the population, and 62% of the working force. So that means women and youth are very, very important, are the main engines of our blue economy in Zanzibar. And about 99% of Zanzibar international business, Zanzibar international trade, if you like, is seaborne. That means if we are disconnected from the rest of the world, so we'll be in trouble because we depend on sea to make our blue economy agenda viable. And ocean economy, ocean-based economy is currently contributing over 37% to our GDP, and the data showing our GDP that 2020 our GDP was around 4203 billion. So there are some interesting statistics I would like you to pay attention. The working force, that means 15 to 64 of Zanzibar, is about 57% of the population. Out of that, 55% are women. So women are the main engine. I mean, women group is the main engine of the blue economy of Zanzibar. And primary enrollment, women are, girls or women are, let's say girls are enrolled 49%, boys 51%, and higher learning institution, girls or women 60%, 40% boys. That means during the primary study level, we enroll more boys than girls, but at the higher level, girls are getting admitted to the university more than female counterparts. And average employment is quite opposite. So we have so many graduates, women graduates, but the employment pattern, men are more employed if compared with the female. And this is the area that we need to empower more girls and female into blue economy employment. The statistics show that about 31.6% of the Zanzibar population, or family if you like, are female-led. That means the head of the family are female. And these female, they're mainly working in the fisheries and agricultural sector. And statistics shows us that around 25% of the poorest family in Zanzibar, they are female-led. And female, they are spending about 87% of their time freely for family purposes, while male, they are only spending about 13% of that. And unemployment rate currently is around 14.3%. So if you could digest these statistics, simply you can see that women are working not only officially in employment, but even in our social activities. And Zanzibar, like any other country, it has been hit by COVID-19 severely. As you can see, during 2020, our GDP went down to 1.3%, and inflation was 3.4%. And this requires the lawmakers to make some aggressive changes so that we could recover in the next coming 2 or 3 years. So what have we done? Zanzibar now, we have decided to enter into blue economy agenda, and blue economy agenda of Zanzibar has got 5 priorities. I will not go in detail of this priority, but I will just highlight them. So our priority number 1 is fisheries and aquaculture. And number 2, maritime trade and infrastructure. We have tourism, energy, renewable, including oil and gas, and of course, the last one is blue economy governance. So for sake of today's discussion, I will only concentrate on fisheries sector. And the reason is fisheries sector is employing more than 24% of the population. So any small change, any positive intervention in the fisheries sector will make a big impact to the entire society. So in our blue economy agenda, we prioritize fisheries as a first sector to be developed. Fisheries sector, as you can see, currently, including its value chain, it's employing around 79 people. 30% of them are female, and 65% of that number are youth age 14 to 35. And fisheries provide a lifeline to the Zanzibar society of around 24%. That means 24% of the population depends on fisheries. So if anything goes wrong at sea, that means you are talking about half of the population will suffer. That's why we are prioritizing fisheries, because of the importance. And GDP contribution from fisheries is around 4.8, and fish demand, locally demand, is about 42 tons. 42 tons, but currently we could only catch 38.9 tons, 1,000 tons. So currently Zanzibar is importing around 3,100 tons of fish. This is something has to stop. Fisheries sector of Zanzibar, our local fishers are fishing not more than 6 nautical miles offshore. And this is because they don't have proper and modern fishing vessels. So they are using native vessels, which could only reach 6 nautical miles off the shore. And 61% of the entire population of fishing vessels, they are either sail-propelled or paddle-propelled. So you don't expect to have much fish catch if you are using such kind of vessels. So these are there are some challenges associated with the fisheries sector, including post-harvest loss, because they are using native vessels. They don't have cold storage facility. Vessels, they don't sail at required speed. So once they have catch fish, the value of fish is deteriorating around 25% before reach to the final consumer. And this is one of the things that we need to address, because the value of fish is deteriorating very fast. Weak market infrastructure, we don't have good landing site, we don't have the storage facility at landing site, and services, that means at the market there is no money changer, or people still they used to receive cash and pay cash. Insufficient skill and knowledge, aquaculture, seaweed is just seaweed dominated, and like that. So the role of women in fisheries is significantly, like I said, over 30% of the fishers are women. along the value chain of the fisheries sector are women. So we need to empower women. We need to give them education. We need to give them financial interventions. But most important, and I think today's theme is really aligning with, is technology, because they are using primitive techniques. So if they are going to continue in this way, we don't expect to have, to achieve much. So technology through youth, any research and development institutions is very, very important to empower these women to get more catch out of the work. If you can see on the picture, that is not a fishing net, that is mosquito net. So what do you expect those women to catch? We have fishers, women fishers, and seaweed farmers. So challenges facing women fisheries is poorly regulated and poorly paid employment, because women normally they are paid less compared with men counterparts, inefficient and association with wastage and loss. Like I said, post-harvest loss, overfishing and climate change, because now our sea is overfished. So if we don't take proper measure quickly, that means women who do not have capacity to go far out to the sea, they won't get much at territorial water. And low credit access. Of course, conventional banking system hasn't proved to be working in Zanzibar because of high collateral value, and the also issue of cultural and religious. People, they don't take what's so-called riba. So we need a kind of sustainable blue economy financing, that these so-called riba, they will not be on top of their bill. So this is something that we need to discuss with the banker. And challenges facing seaweed farmers are almost the same: low price of dried seaweed, and using unimproved farming technology, and low knowledge on value addition. This is very important statistic I would like you to pay attention, because we are showing how sea cucumber and mud crab could benefit youth. And it's just a matter of 3 months to have a 20-meter square farm of mud crab, and will give you around 1.6 million every three months. And when you talk about sea cucumber, or a farm of 20 meters square will cost you around 7 million to prepare, but the outcome at 18 months will be over 20 million. And this farm would only need 10 people to work on. So this is one of the areas youth could be engaged. And of course, there is a gap of knowledge, gap of skill, and technology is really, really needed in this area. Just for your information, 1 kilogram of sea cucumber, you can fetch up to 108,000 shillings, 1 kilogram of sea cucumber. So if you get 500 kilograms of sea cucumber in 8 months, that means you are going to have 60 million Tanzania shillings. So it's a very, very good business, and it doesn't need much of your time. You could have this farm and working on other, your other area of interest. So role of digital technology and blue economy is very, very important, and we have to align these two, because there is a lack of value addition technology in Zanzibar. Seaweed farmers, they are selling their seaweed raw and they are getting less. And because of this, they can earn more money. So youth, we need to come up with a very clever value addition technology that will help our seaweed farmer. Fish tracking techniques. You know, catching fish is not an ordinary business, because fish are traveling so fast. For instance, a tuna fish could travel up to 80 kilometers per hour. So in order to catch one, you need to come up with technology. Exactly before going to the sea, you need to know exactly where they are. So tuna is highly valuable species, but catching one is very, very difficult. So we need technology, satellite-based information. We need to do research so that our fishers could be well informed in advance where you need to go to catch a tuna or to catch some other fishes. Because tuna has an option to take its breakfast in Tanzania and dinner in Mozambique, because it could travel up to 80 kilometers per hour. Maritime domain awareness, we have a lot of illegal fishing, illegal activity, toxic dumping. So we need somebody to provide us clear information what is going on at sea. So this is another area of technology. We could use even simple drones that could sustain at sea for about 1 hour, 2 hours, and give us a clear picture what is going on at our sea. The statistics show that Tanzania is losing more than $205 million per year through illegal fishing. Because we are going to introduce aquaculture business, so we need simple and affordable fish meal, and research and development, of course, is very, very important. So what have we done at the ministerial level at the moment? So we need to transform fisheries sector, and transforming the fisheries sector needs funds and needs resources, and this is something that we don't have at the moment. So the following 2 slides, I will highlight what are the interventions proposed by the ministry and how much will cost and who will be benefited by these interventions. So number 1 is training, improving skill and technology of the fishers, seaweed farmer, and seaweed farmer. For instance, we are intending to create a group of 20 fishers, and each group of 20 fishers will be given special education or special training on group formation, fishing and farming technology, bookkeeping, management, and value addition techniques. So after that, they will be given a boat, fully equipped with fishing gear, safety gears, so that they could go to sea and catch fish that they would sell at a higher price. But like I said, you can't send fish out to the sea if you haven't informed them where to fish. And this is the role of technology. That means we need somebody, before fishers decide to go to the sea, they have to be informed exactly. Today, because of the weather condition, because of the current, please go this area with clear coordination. That means there will be high chance of them to catch fish. So this intervention, the first phase of the intervention, we are going to target 20,000 fishers, 3,000 seaweed farmer, and 500 sea cucumber. So 20% of this number will be new employment to women and youth. And women and youth will expect them to take part in technological part, using fish finder, collecting information and relaying the information to fishers so that they could save fuel and time and catching more fish. So the intervention itself is going to cost around 72.6 billion Tanzania shilling, which is equivalent to 31 million US dollar. It's a big money. So even one bank cannot grant you that sum. You need a basket, or you need a cocktail of bankers to lend you this money. But we need these funds to make intervention to fisheries sector. The impact of intervention, and this is a short-term intervention, first of all, and this is very important, will reduce fishing stress on our coastal environment, because at the moment, all 50,000 fishers are fishing within 6 nautical miles. Some of them, they are fishing within the marine protected area, and this is very, very dangerous for for the health of our ecosystem. So once we empower them, they will be able to fish far out to the sea, more than 6 nautical miles off the shore. And it will create around 12,720 direct employment, new direct employment, and there will be a significant number of indirect employment, and this direct employment mainly will be for youth in the area of technology. How are they going to support fishers and seaweed farmers? And fish catch, of course, will increase from currently 36 tons to 180 tons in a year. And seaweed production will increase because currently we are harvesting around 8,700 tons of seaweed, but we need more than 20,000 tons of seaweeds. And revenue, of course, will increase by 382%, and the GDP share of fisheries definitely will increase and improve nutritional status, and most important, it will reduce poverty among the citizens. So this is my short presentation, and if you wish, I would like to stop here and I'll take your question later. Thank you so much.
Asante sana, Captain, for introducing us to the broader picture of what the blue economy is and the various government initiatives in place. Before we proceed, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of His Excellency Dr. Ahmada Abadawi, Ambassador for Comoros in Tanzania. Karibu sana. It's great to see you again. And maybe I will just highlight, I think, the main points that the youth can take away from Captain's presentation. The beginning statistics were very important. 1.7 million people in Zanzibar, 51% of those are women, and 35% of those are youth, yourselves, between the age of 15 to 35. Captain stressed that because of these two figures, women and youth, you're the main engine of the blue economy. So that really is where your role is. That's where you're sitting. And the areas in the blue economy where Captain has identified opportunities for youth, as per the government's initiatives already in place, are in the areas of fisheries, in the areas of seaweed, sea cucumbers, and mud crab. Those, I think, came out very clearly that those are the 4 areas where, in terms of even the technology initiatives from the government, are targeting specifically youth. So those are 4 areas that I think, in the context of our conversation today, you can focus on. With that, there will be a youth panel later on today, and I'd like to possibly ask Captain if you could be available also for that youth panel in case they have direct questions for you then, so that we're saving some time now. Asante sana, Captain. We now are moving straight to our next session, where we're looking to answer some of Honorable Minister's questions from this morning's speech, in terms of what can we learn from elsewhere, what can we do differently, who can we partner with, and what are practical steps. So here we're going to have a panel, we call it the Diplomats Panel. We'll have our 2 excellencies, our 2 ambassadors from Turkey and from Comoros. And we'll also have our friends from Kenya, Ms. Amina AC, Director, Out of School, Youth Technology and Innovation Program, Fusion Africa in Kenya, and also Mr. Adam Nyalu, co-founder of Sahara Ventures. So that'll be our first panel of 4. If you could kindly, I think you're all in the front already. And I will ask for microphones, please. Asante. And as he's bringing the microphones, I would just like for all of you to briefly give our audience, and specifically as we're talking to the youth, an overview and a snapshot of what opportunities, for example, are in Comoros and in Turkey. Based on what you have heard this morning, what are some of the links possibly with the blue economy, and particularly as it pertains to youth? Comoros, I know you're also a very small island. I believe you're smaller. You're smaller than Zanzibar, yes, in terms of your population. But I'm not sure. But there's learning that we can take from Comoros, and then from our friends in Kenya as well. So Karibuni, I'll bring the microphones.
Before anything, I would like to apologize because I come later and I was out of the country. I came just Saturday from Comoro. But we can't speak about Comoro without speaking about Zanzibar or Tanzania. Comoro and Zanzibar, we have many things to share together. Wangazija is in Zanzibar many years ago. But now, what we can make both countries, it is important. How we can develop our cooperation, what the problem which we have today, and we can work easily between the two countries or the two islands. Because Comoro is island, Zanzibar is island, but Comoro has a good relation with Tanzania, or the Republic of Tanzania. We have ambassador of Tanzania in Comoro, but also we have ambassador of Comoro in Tanzania. So we are here to facilitate our cooperation of every area which we need to develop. Fishing, for example, we are in the sea. We have many fish on our sea. We have also fishing here. Why we don't put our knowledge, our information, our technology to develop the fishing industry for Comoro and Zanzibar, and see how we can sell out of our two countries, or how we can eat and have a good fishing to eat. It's a matter. We need also to develop what Zanzibar has, like a training, and what Comoro hasn't, and put and make a complementarity for the two countries. So I think it's better to make a study for each country, see what happened inside and what we can add, and how we can cooperate. If we are speaking about the youth, Comoro, we have more 52% for youth. Like any African countries, is very high. They need to learn, they need a job, they need to have a good life. They can't get it if we don't promote education. if we don't promote a job, the job can't come if we don't promote new technology, education, and working together. So, the barrier which we have today for the two countries is the language. Comoro are speaking French and Arabic and understand somewhat of Swahili. But how to make implementation for English or Swahili school at Comoro, and how the two governments can accept it to use, to develop the two language and facilitate the communication between our population. It's a second matter which we have to, like ambassador or like embassy or like a country, we have to work both and see the modality to attain that objective. Another area, we have culture. Comoro has a Tarab, has a Majlis. We have the same religion like Zanzibar. How? And many of the Mufti of Comoro are studying in Zanzibar. In Zanzibar, most of them. And how we can develop it today with the new technology. How we can learn, how we can develop Tarab in Zanzibar or on Comoro, how the two people can make a joint venture and working together and they develop that music on the two islands. If we are taking religion, how we can develop our religion to learn easily the Quran, to learn easily, to know easily the Hadith, to know what happened. Young people today have to know more than the past. Because with the communication which we have today, our son knows very much the new technology than us. But the new technology is coming from the Quran. Because the Quran to us to learn. To learn. And when you are learning, you understand. And he says also in Surah Tabarak, أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. You don't see, you have brain. So how we can today make a good implementation for our religion, for the two countries, or for the two islands, that our son or small boys can become a really Muslim or really patriotic to defend our country. Because حب الإيمان من الوطن. You are patriot and you can like your country. So it's our hadith. So I think we have more and more area which we can work together and facilities. But like embassy and like country, we have to develop the joint venture, GPC, between our two countries. Sure, Comoro has petrol, has gas. And till now, we don't have more technology in that. If Tanzania or Zanzibar has, why we don't put our knowledges together? We are member of SADC. How we can, we are member of SADC, we are member of COMESA, and we are in League Arab. How the two countries can put the effort together and maximize the market for the two countries. I think it's really time to stay together and see how the two countries can work together and follow up against the poverty and facilitate youth to have a good job and have a good life. والعفو منكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm sorry that my Swahili is Kitoko. That's why I'm in English. Honorable ministers, good morning again. Thank you very much. And thanks for the excellencies, Mr. Badawi, and our colleagues from Tinjab. Thanks for also inviting me. I'm sorry that my back is to your side. I'm sorry for that. I will not make a long speech, but just to share about the experience of Turkey. In Turkey, we have about 8,300 kilometers of coast. We are not an island country, but we are surrounded by sea on three sides of us, north side, south side, and the western side is surrounded by sea, Mediterranean Sea, Black Sea, and the Aegean Sea. Our border with the Greece is the sea. That's why we are also surrounded by sea. We are a sea country also at the same time. If we look at the change of the Turkey's last 20 years development, I think we can share a lot of experience what we gain in Turkey's these last 2 decades, last 20-25 years. Normally, for the fisheries, we were also purchasing out boats from Europe or from different countries. Now, you know, Scandinavian countries are well known for boats or the ship industry. We are now also selling ships to even Norway, even to the Scandinavian countries. I'm not an expert of blue economy. I'm coming from different backgrounds, medical background, and then humanitarian background, and also disaster management background. But what I can guess that how it is big importance for Zanzibar, especially for Zanzibar. Because in Zanzibar, it's an island, it's an archipelago that there are lots of islands. It can create lots of economical empowerment, economical opportunities. Why it is much more important, especially for Zanzibar, for decreasing the poverty, for creating new employment opportunities. And in fact, we have 3 important words that we are trying to think together. One of them is youth. Youth is important for all of the countries all over the world. Second one is technology, how to use technology in all of the sectors, and the blue economy, and how to use oceans. And we are now trying to combine these 3. Not only in a panel or in a conference, in a summit we can solve it, but it can give and it can start some ideas that what I saw that most of our audience are youth, and in fact most of them are coming from women background. It gives us opportunity that in the next future, women in blue economy, youths, women in blue economy will be rising in Zanzibar. For this economy, for this mandate, for this agenda, Turkey can give you some experience, can share about, not only I'm talking about success stories, also with the failures, also with the experience what gained in last 2 decades, also combination of different sectors. Also in the presentation of Mr. Hamad, it was said that using technology, using satellites, using programming, using environmental technology in the fisheries or food industry. At the end, for the using fishery systems, I looked at about 25% of the West, there is a loss for the fish. This is a high percentage that fisheries are using energy, they are using their efforts, but 25% of what they catch is going away. That's why how to decrease this? Not only how to increase what they can produce, also how to decrease the waste can be an opportunity. What can I ask to my young friends that how to combine different ideas together? One. Second, being brave. What I see I'm living in Tanzania, what I see in last 5 months that there are lots of opportunities in the mainland, in the Zanzibar, in different sectors, in agriculture, in fishery, in production. But there's also youth who can do that. I think there's two things very much needed. One of them, Mr. Bedi already mentioned, education. Being young is not enough. To be trained in a specific sector is very important. The second thing is capital. Of course, capital and making partnership, using credit, or finding investors from other countries is very important. As an embassy, we are doing our best, and inshallah, with the ministries from Zanzibar, ministry from mainland, we are in touch how to attract the investors from Turkey in different sectors. But at the end, we need young people, we need trained trustful people to do it. What I always mention to the Turkish investors that you should find a local partner. Don't try to do it yourself. Do it with the local partners. Do it with the, use this energy. That's why you are that energy you can bring into the companies in this partnership. Last thing that I want to mention that for sustainable development in the future, we will be speaking much more. Unfortunately, in Turkey, we are facing in the last 2 months lots of disasters, forest fires, floods, and I'm talking about big forest fires. I'm talking about big floods that hundreds of people are affected. Not only affected mean injured or casualties, it can be affected by their agriculture, it can be affected by their business. In the world, because of Corona, we saw that all of the world globe is affected. In the next years, in the next decades, always it will be in the topic about food security. I believe that Tanzania, Zanzibar, and this beautiful country can create tons of the food, tons of new ideas for food production. But it must come from inside. I mean, as I witnessed, I've been to different parts of Tanzania. Even Tanzania can feed the whole world, but it needs to use technology. It needs to use the land. It needs. If there is an empty land, if there is an empty sea, it doesn't help. But with the trained people, with the using of technology, increasing the efficiency, I think Tanzania, just Tanzania can feed the world, but it needs combination of forces, but starting from you. What I saw that Turkish companies are coming, and after a couple of months or years, they can give up. But if we can meet the right people with the right companies, right investors, we can bring that combination. And especially in the blue economy, but not limited with blue economy, we can create new jobs for the youth of the Tanzania and Zanzibar especially, but also new incomes and increase the high living standards of the old people in here. Thank you very much. If there's any question, I can do my best. Thank you very much for listening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Good morning, assalamu alaikum. Honorable ministers, Your Excellency ambassadors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. My name is Amina Hirsi. I'm very glad to be here. I'm your neighbor next door. When I was told to come and share some good practice about our blue economy, I jumped at the invitation by Pink Hijab Initiative. I really applaud what they're doing. So I'll tell you a little bit about the out-of-school youth science and technology program. This is a flagship program which was spearheaded by the Office of the President. Our President is our global youth champion. So it was discovered that the out of youth, you know, some young people drop out of school. They just don't want to continue. Others finish school and before they get a job. So we realize that that's a marginalized group that's usually ignored. There's not a lot of funding. For instance, our Ministry of Education gets almost a third of our budget, and there's not much about out-of-school youth. So then the civil local organizations, like Fusion Africa is a local NGO, we were now tasked to actually design, facilitate, and implement projects that could work with this out-of-school youth. Because what was happening, they say free time is the devil's workshop. So a lot of young people were getting into crime because there was nothing for them to do. And also we realized not everyone can be doctors, lawyers. Some people like to work with their hands. Some young people have great ideas, but they just didn't know where to take it. So what we, can you hear me? So what we essentially do, if you're a young person, you have an idea, so we start right from idea generation. You've got something in your head that you want to do. We help you with that. We then take it to the next stage of production and prototype, and then also access to market. Because I can have a great idea, but if I don't know how to market it, that's where now a lot of small businesses for youth actually fail, because there's no one to harness that. So we've done fantastic projects around, and it's all about innovation, so creating a culture of curiosity, innovation, and productive entrepreneurship amongst youth. So we've done a lot of fantastic projects around Kenya, and it's actually equipping these young people with occupational skills so that they can be job creators themselves around our Big Four agenda. So we've got a Big Four agenda which is around food security, housing, manufacturing and healthcare. So what we did is we've done fantastic projects around agriculture, beekeeping, when it came to the blue economy. So the young people that we worked around other sectors, they were quite forthcoming and generally hardworking, if you like. And since watu wa bara, we actually think watu wa pwani are very lazy. That's just something that we think, but it's not very true, because what we found out when we went to the young people, so we decided, okay, the blue economy, and I'm very, very excited that you actually have a ministry for blue economy. We don't have that. You know, it's frustrating when we want to work with the blue economy. If we want to do something around trade and shipping, we have to go to the Ministry of Transport. If we want to do something about fishing, we have to go to the Ministry of Livestock and Agriculture. If we want to do something about maritime tourism, we have to go to the Ministry of Tourism. So it's fantastic that you've got one-stop shop, which is amazing, you know, to harness this billion-dollar industry that as Africa we are not tapping even into a drop of what is available, of what, you know, the first world is doing. But hopefully things are changing, so kudos to your government, and I'm very glad that there's a Minister of Blue Economy. Maybe that's something that we can push for when I go back and I say, you know, this is such a serious sector that it needs its own ministry. So when we went to our coastal region, so we've got our length of our coastal region is about 680 kilometers. So we went around Lamu, Malindi, Kwale area, and a lot of the young people were getting involved in drugs. We have a big drug problem in our Pwani area. Why is this? And that's because of, you know, it's the fishing time, so if the young boys and the youth go out to fish, or usually sometimes it's the older men, there's nothing much. By 11 o'clock, there's nothing else to do. They leave it to the women to sell the fish and what have you. So what we decided is we came in, we worked with some local youth groups, and we say the first thing, we have to change the culture of the people there. We have to make the blue economy seductive. We thought, how can we do this? And we told young people, look, you just don't have to go to fish. What is your skill? If you can draw graphic designer coming to, so we looked at the value chain, right from production, right from the production to infrastructure, the building, the engineering aspect of things, to the market access, the marketing. So we said, you know, you can draw, are you a good graphic designer? Come and market the fish. Are you good at singing? Come and do the background social media clip for this. Are you good at engineering? Do you like to do things with your boat? Come into the boat making sector. Do you want to go out to sea? You know, so we then had to make it more seductive. So really change the attitude. And also one of the biggest things that we did is we changed the attitude that going out to sea is for boys and men only. Why can't women go? What we're doing now is we're giving certification for 3 months. You train with us, with one of our, it's called the Bandari College, 3 months. You get a certificate of competence to go out to sea. And we make sure that every class has, we've not reached the 50-50 yet, but at least 30% girls. Because when we asked them at the beginning, why don't you let your ladies, they said, oh, you know, it's dangerous. It's one of the safest modes of, you know, it's not as dangerous as it used to be, especially now that we are mechanizing the boats and what have you. So we had to change attitude, that it's, your daughter is more likely, if you send her out with a car, to get an accident than to capsize at sea. really, you know. So really to change the mindset that it's not something just for boys, just for men, and especially in my capacity, I'm the chair for the Kenya Muslim Women's Network. And when I was working with the young people around the Pwani area, and most of them are Muslim girls, and I really pushed them, and I said, you know what, your job is not just to be in the kitchen. And I always, you know, use the example of Lady Khadija, the Prophet ﷺ's wife. She was a wife, she was a businesswoman, she was an amazing person. So she did it all. So I tell them, you can do it all. And I make sure that all these trainings have girls in it. So what did we do to involve the youth? One of the things that we did, we know youth like gadgets, they like technology. So we now mechanized the boats. So what was happening is we've got a 200 nautical mile fishing area, right? But because most of the boats were old and they used the sail, they only fish between 0 and 5 miles. So you've got this expansive water that's not being fished. And you have here, there's a lot of overfishing happening here. So we're talking about sustainability. They end up fishing even, you know, the juvenile fish, the pregnant fish, whereas there's all this area. So what we did was give them, add to their boats. We didn't even give them, we only gave 3 new boats. The Minister of Livestock gave 3 new boats 3 months ago. But we gave them engines, you know. That way they were able now to go further at sea. What did we give them? And that again, now the young people were like, okay, this is fantastic. I can actually, you know, read a manual. This is something for me. It's not wazir too, you know. So they felt this is something. What else did we do? Gave them GPS devices so that they can actually now do the strategic fishing and know where the fishing ground, the fishing shamba is. You know, you just don't go out to sea. What else did we do? The fishing finders. They're very cheap equipments. They're not expensive, you know, where it sends the sonar waves and you know where the fishing is. So they come back, the fishing is very precise. They go further out to sea. There's a lot more sustainability. So we also, so the fish tracking, what we also did is the boat making and designing. So we've also got young people to come in and, you know, we've created labs for them where they would come in and design, this is the kind of boat that I'm thinking about, and they're working with experts to say, okay, this idea cannot work because you need this, you need that, this material. So we're really pushing towards now fiberglass, and we're trying to do away with the wooden boats. We're also involving young people in the ice make. So as we said, we looked at the value chain. Okay, so you want to do your business around ice making and ice production. So we formed what is called a PPP, a public-private partnership, where you come and sell it to the BMUs. Now the BMUs, now what we have in each area, there's what we call the beach management units, which is very fantastic. So each place has a landing, fish landing area. Now the beach management units is, it's a cooperative of the local community groups, other members of the public and government officials. Now this has created ownership with the community, you know, so they actually feel part of this. So for instance now in terms of if there is from the meteorological, if there is issues with climate change or there's the tides are very high or something, now that's how now information is sent to the local BMU, and then the chairman now sends text messages to all the wavuvi. Don't go out to sea today, there's this, that, and the other. So now again, the use of technology and actually now, you know, making this just work a little bit better. So again, the involvement, we also have young people sitting in this cooperative. So we made sure that it's not just the wazir who will actually benefit from this. So involvement of young people. I've talked about now surveillance. Now, one of our other projects that we did with young people, we worked with young people who have manufactured the first drone, I believe in East Africa, surveillance drone. So some young people that we work. So this, we're actually thinking about now using these drones to do the actual mapping, and also illegal fishing. It cost us, for Kenya, 100 billion, what is that, $100 million in illegal fishing. You know the way the rest of the world wanachunga, hiyo ni mali. You know, we don't, as Africans, we don't see. We lose $100 million, right? So what we're doing is also now using technology in actually doing the surveillance. And we're thinking about now doing this, the drone technology, where, you know, you just send the drone and it goes, it maps everything and comes back with the data. And you actually see what is happening. It's safe, it's very effective. And these are very, very cheap technology. You know, we built our whatever with what? $20,000. We built a drone. You know, this is very, very cheap compared to what we are losing as a nation. So again, as I said, the value addition. Now, the other thing is now the women, and how did we now involve the women? Again, it's in the value addition. We have a fantastic, again, our president opened one of the best fish factories that is highly mechanized. So fish lands there. You also have machines that will actually, you know, create the fillets, do the mincing, and we have a lot of women involved in this. Now the other thing, again, technology, the money transfer aspect of things, we're trying to make it to digitize, that there's not a lot of money that's changing hands. And I think as we are very, with fintech and financial technology, we're very forward in terms of M-Pesa and what have you. But also what we are trying to look at now, obviously with COVID, is to digitize the whole auctioning. You know, fish is nada. So there's no social distancing, there's this. So we're thinking about if they can actually just SMS their bid. And that will be very good because, you know, wanatoka nasema, huyu ametuharibia bei, yule you know. So it will be anonymous. Nobody will know who's bidding what. So that is something that we're actually looking at, is actually digitizing the whole bidding process and the setting of prices. Again, that will be very effective in many other things, and also in curbing the COVID-19 spread. There's a lot of other areas of, another thing that we do is now technology and how young people really get excited. We discovered that information is very key. Information is very key. So what we do in each BMU, we've given the committees tablets. So what happens is when they come to the landing site, all of them will now key in the data of what they've caught for the day. So things like what type of fish, the quantity, the sizes, all that. Now that goes to a central fish management data system. And you know, fish is food. So again, in tracking, if there's an outbreak disease or something, very easily we're able to know, okay, this is where things went wrong. In terms of also now sustainability, we have to really now take care of what's in the ocean. So again, now it helps in terms of preserving our habitat, and we'll know, you know, if they go and take the juvenile ones or whatever, we know that there's a problem here. And they're very cautious. That's now, because they know everything, wanaogopa, wanasema, naingia kwenye computer wewe, usi, you know. So it's really created that. So we've digitized that. And again, it's small tablets, very cheap tablets that we've given. We have a central management system where the data comes in. So we've done things quite easy. Again, the whole aspect of tourism. You know, the cruise industry is $1 billion industry. But we have nothing of it. Like for instance, in Kenya, maybe 4 cruise ships will dock the whole year. Whereas in the Caribbean, you know, you have. So one of the things that, again, Israel really, we're trying to now improve, because it comes with the whole hospitality industry and what have you. So also now improving our tourism around maritime transport and what have you, and making sure that we have proper cruise, you know, docks and what have you. And also in terms of water sports, getting the young people, they're very excited in you know, being involved in the snorkeling and the jet skiing and what have you. Yeah, so I think the other area, another area is the marine biotechnology. We're still very far, but also this is something that we want to push. You know, it's shocking that we don't know a lot of, antibiotics. Penicillin comes from marine fungi. You know, nobody knows how much is in there. There's a lot of pharmaceutical companies spend billions of dollars in research and development of marine biotechnology. And this is something that we've other than now the seaweed, because marine biotechnology is really using the microorganisms to create byproducts. Now the seaweed, in terms of cosmetics and whatever, that's the only thing that we've been able, the same as I think yourselves, we've been able to now go down that path. But again, this is something that we're looking at. We're working with local universities, trying to partner with international universities that are experts in marine biotechnology. So there's a lot more research and development, and I would urge, just as we urge our government to really, really put a lot of investment in marine biotechnology. Again, the mineral oil and gas, that's part of blue economy, that's very much untapped. For us now in Lake Turkana, we've found some oil and gas we're hoping. So what they've done is they've mapped some block areas in our waters where they think, but again, it takes a lot of heavy investment in terms of that. So it's again partnering with outside companies that can come in and do that. But yeah, so again, as we said, it's really changing shift in the mindset of people who are living within the blue economy zone and making them realize that they're sitting on a gold mine, really more than the fertile lands of anywhere else. I think it's just making them realize, and also just walking with them through the different value addition chains and making sure that everybody's young, especially young person's skills, can fit in the different areas. And again, social media, we try and make, we have pictures of young people carrying a big fish, with a chop, the whole thing about cooking. We have boys cooking, making fish. So really trying making it very seductive has really worked and has really put a lot of young people within that area to be interested in the blue economy, what it has to offer. Thank you very much. Looking forward to share further good practice and take back home. I'll be sitting with you to try and see what more you're doing that we are not doing, and then we can take things from there. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. Distinguished guests, honorable ministers, diplomats, and other high-level delegates within here and the participants. I thank you again for this opportunity to attend on behalf of Sahara Ventures, to be here and share our 50 cents. The joy of being last, it comes with you just doing the summarization of what others are saying. So I'm lucky to be that one. Thank you so much. So I'll be just going a little bit of our experience and what we have been doing, but as well pinning some of the points that I've been hearing and some of the questions that have been raised by our Honorable Minister. What is our view if we have to respond to your call? So my name is Adam again. I'm from Sahara Ventures. Sahara Ventures is a group of company which aim at building a stable innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship ecosystem in Africa, with a specific zoom of Tanzania. We've done a number of work here across Africa. Our group has about 3 companies. First of it has Sahara Sparks, which is a marketplace for innovators, tech enthusiasts, tech firm to sit together and exchange ideas, knowledge, seek for market investment for their businesses. It's now one of the largest events in Africa. We've gone to about 8 cities across Africa. In Kenya, we've done it in Nairobi, in Lagos, in Kampala, Malawi, Johannesburg, here in Dar es Salaam, and in Dar es Salaam we do every year. And last 2 years before Corona, we managed to cross the sea and went to Europe. We have done our first European version in Helsinki. Our aim is to try to tap those who have interest in the sector here in Africa and exchange values in tech transfer, investment in our businesses, early stages businesses as such. We also have a consulting firm which works in project management and consultancy. We have only the specific key area of technology entrepreneurship. We noticed that the development sector a little bit struggle how to embrace the innovation technology entrepreneurship in whatever they are doing. So we support the impact-based projects and how to engage the concept of innovation technology and entrepreneurship. And we've done that with a number of stakeholders, with the UN, with the number of development agencies, embassies. We've done with a couple of embassies, the Swiss embassy, the Danish embassy, the UK aid through their funding, the Swiss and the likes on different areas. So we're cross-cutting. We don't have a specific sector, but our emphasis in how we can use innovation technology and entrepreneurship. One of our key belief is if you want to solve most pressing challenge in the community, then build business in that specific problem. And this could sound a little bit capitalistic, but we believe doing so it's sustainably. You solve that problem sustainably. If you're a development sector, it's a 3-year gone, the project is gone. But once you embrace the entrepreneurship on it, it continues to do it, to continue to be solved. As well as, where possible, use innovation and technology, or both of them together. So we help the development sector design such kind of projects, and we work with them together to implement in some instances. We have a business accelerator. Our business accelerator is venture-backed and corporate-backed investment accelerator, where we support early-stage business, incubate them, and match-make them with investors. In an innovation, tech, and entrepreneurship ecosystem, there are different stages. There's early stage where a youth might come with an idea. So there are players who are supporting those early stages. We call it ideation stage. Then they come with an idea, a prototype of their business. They want to produce an MVP. I will tell you why I'm trying to put this concept together. There are these who will come with an MVP of their business. They want to go and prove for market of their concepts. So their players also have to support that early stage. And there's a stage where now they have an MVP, has a trackable record. They need now to further step up and expand their businesses. They need further supportive funding and investment. Our accelerator is supporting this stage. We're not supporting the early 2 stages. But I think for a stable and healthy ecosystem, we need all these players together. So my play on this, especially to my brother, is if at all we want to support youth engagement in blue economy, we have to strategically create this ecosystem work. As my dear sister said, if we want really youth to work on this blue economy, we need to make it seductive. It's not that necessarily all the kids should go on the sea, but support the whole value chain. But this value chain can be supported if at all we have an enabling ecosystem that supports from early stages of ideation of these youth to the last stages they are looking for further funding of their support. So while we're designing these stages or programmings, I think it's very important to ensure that we do that. And the minister is saying, what can we do to make sure from that call again? I think from here, government has to play a key role, especially in playing an enabling environment to this, either be a policy role, stimulating the ecosystem to play, and to make sure that now making sure if we are saying we are going to Pemba, let's stimulate more innovation hubs to it. So youth could come there and be supported to at least start with the ideation to support their value chain. If we do this, we have done it sustainably, because these youths now, they will be solving their employability issue, but taking advantage of their blue economy, coming up with innovative ideas and businesses through their their blue economy. Secondly, I think it's very important on R&D to me, and it's very hard for me if I want to come and support. Maybe that's one. I think it's very important if we wanted to support for an external player to come in and support the ecosystem to start and document what's available here, so that a person will be informed to come and support in a specific area that would really work. In this case, we need to do a very, very, very strong mapping of the stakeholders involved and the opportunity available. So if we do the mapping, we generate insights and thereof document the use case, it will attract other players to come in because they are now seeing where the challenge and opportunities are available. One of the things that we are doing at Sahara is designing different acceleration, and this is an opportunity for you, my dear brothers and sisters. We can take this advantage of the opportunities available. Our experience we have done a number of these innovation accelerators in different sectors, in sexual reproductive health, in agriculture, in health, in nutrition, in food nutrition, for youth to come up with innovative ideas around that area, help them generate up to the MVP and go to do the proof of their concept. But my experience has been, it is to those only who are active to be involved that are getting this opportunity. So again, it is my call to you, my brothers and sisters, let us be engaging. Let us, when these calls are happening, it's not a waste of time, just go and listen. It might be your turning point. So let us make sure that at all, when these opportunities are coming, we do not just feel like it is belong for X, Y, and Z to participate, but make sure you go and have that opportunity. It might be your turning point. We were here too 1 year ago for a hackathon. We pushed a lot for youth to come here, but very few attended. It was an accelerator program for the whole country. Actually 2 teams from Zanzibar participated, and they all won out of the fellow mainlanders. So what I learned from here, I think we are just not active, and the opportunities are there. And I think one of them got at least $5,000 as a seed funding, and it's a key starting point for them. So I feel the opportunities are there, but if our youth at least could get engaged. And how can we make youth again be engaging? My dear Amina was saying, sisi watu wa Barat, we feel like these islanders mostly are wavivu. Mimi nimewaza na mimi wakati fulani hivyo, lakini nilichogundua sio wavivu. In fact, youth wengi kutoka hapa hawapendi au hawajapata exposure to different ways of how others are doing, and there is a protective nature from the top to feel like hawa watu wetu tukiwaacha wagombane na the externals, hatari yake ni kwamba huenda wakashindwa kucompete. Mimi na feel kwamba we need to make more programs ambazo zitawakutanisha na different actors wenzao kutoka sehemu zingine, ili ianze kuwashtua na waone namna gani wanaweza wakafanya kama wenzao. Kwa kufanya hivyo tutaibua mindsets zao, ila tukifanya too much protectiveness to them, tunaendelea kuwafanya wawe dwarf in thinking, wasione opportunity out there kwa sababu hawana exposure to the differences. So my urge is, hata wakati fulani walikuwa wananiambia tutengeneze a program dedicated for Zanzibar. I said no, we'll design a program dedicated for Tanzania, but give an extra opportunity for Zanzibarian to participate. Because doing so, wakiwaona wenzao wa bara wanavyochangamka na wao watasema, kumbe this is the way we have to do. So kama kuna kitu ambacho tunatakiwa kufanya, give them exposure. Tell those other people who are doing better in their mainland side, their brothers at the mainland and neighbors country, to come here and show them how they do things. As young as young boy who is maybe an entrepreneur making millions, anakuambia na mimi nilifanya hivi, niliweza, you can do it. Akiona kwa vitendo ni rahisi kubadilika. Kwa mimi hii ni call yangu nyingine ya pili, kuhakikisha kwamba tunawaachia vijana wetu wakati huo, na sio kina vijana tu, hata kina mama. Lastly, nilikuwa naona a certain discussion. Nani ni good investor wa kuleta change wakati tunataka nchi ibadilike kwenye hii mifumo, especially ku-embrace innovation, technology na entrepreneurship. Unfortunately, watu wetu wengi wanadhani ni private sector ndio ina bring that change. But mimi nasema hapana. Investment kubwa kama tunataka if we want to embrace or to woo enough of the potential we have in innovation technology, and the fact that technology is here now, I think the government should play a pivotal role in a first-hand investment, strategical investment. Like we are proud of the Apple, but we are forgetting that it is the research that was done within the government of US that has made Apple to be that way today. We are proud of the Elon Musk explosion to the moon, but we are forgetting it is the investment of NASA that has made today somebody private sector to go to the moon. So if we want really to entice our people to start investing in technologies and thinking around that, we need to look at strategically inject some investment, especially in R&D, which is massively expensive, to that sector. Share data and knowledge on that so that these innovators can get somewhere to tap in to understand. Your insights, for example, if I take them and I make a challenge definition statements, I told the kids, the youth, that these are the challenges available, that these people are, work with them in a month. It is very possible for them to come up with a solution. But to go and search for those data and knowledge, what are key challenges and what are the insights, it's hard for a private sector to start there. So if the government will share these kind of insights, it will help these innovators to start thinking of how to invest in that. So this is another thing that I feel like, wakati mna design this blue economy, angalieni namna gani mnaweza mkatumia innovation, entrepreneurship na ecosystem players wawe wanashiriki na nyinyi. Hata ikilazimika serikali kutenga fungu la kuhakikisha wanakuwa involved kwenye hiyo plan, kwa sababu wao watakachokifanya sasa watakwenda kujibu yale maswali yenu ambayo mnapata. Tunaweza tukawapa boti waende kuvua, fine, wataenda kuvua, watapata samaki. Je, tutawapa na masoko? Tutawatafutia masoko, lakini hatutapata gari cold storage za kutosha za kupeleka kwenye masoko. We need ecosystem players to support us, na hawezi kuja kama hatutengenezi program ambazo ziko integrating za kuwavuta wale waje kusupport, kutap in kwenye efforts that we do. So bado mimi naamini kabisa katika private collaboration ambayo itawasaidia sasa kuleta hizo synergy na integration wakati tunaenda kutengeneza programs, especially kwenye hiyo sector ya blue economy. So that's what we have been doing. Just a quick one. Tumekwenda mbali. Tuna very strong network ya investors. Investors' appetite to invest in Tanzania is very big. Very big. There's very big money out there. Study yetu juzi tulifanya hapa ya tulijaribu kumap nutrition sensitive SMEs ecosystem, na tulikuja Zanzibar kuangalia what's happened, who is a big player, and what are the issues and gaps that we've seen on the ground. One of the biggest challenges we've got, thanks to SUZA, there is a center there pale inasaidia watoto vijana to come up with that innovation because they have a lab, they're producing food products in it. But a lot of those early stage businesses that are around there are missing what we call seed fund money, which is around $5,000 to $10,000. So the future is very bloom, but there is some hindrance that they are facing. So kuna haja ya kuangalia namna gani tunaweza tukaimprove mazingira yetu ya uwekezaji ili vijana wetu wapate investment, an alternative investment. Manake hapa sisi kwa tamaduni zetu riba bado ni changamoto. So there are other arenas on alternative investment that we can do which are riba free, ambazo kama tutatengeneza vizuri sheria zetu tunaweza tukasaidia hizo investment flow ikaja hapa, venture capital, venture backed investment, angel investment, ambazo mtu anakuja naye anakuwa sehemu ya business, ambazo hazihitaji kuwa na hayo mamodo ya riba. We can do them. The government can start a revolving fund for youth kusaidia hizo $5,000 to $10,000 in funding, kwa kutumia specific people ambao wanaweza kuja kusupport na kuwasaidia wao kupata hizo investment, especially kwenye those proven models and prototypes ambazo tayari zipo. Investor wengi wanapokuja wanataka kuziona business ziko kwenye mezzanine. Watu wetu bado wako hapa. So we must do something intentional kuwavuta vijana wetu kufika kwenye mezzanine stage where they can get these millions of investors that are hanging and nobody is tapping it from Tanzania. I thank you. Nashukuru tena kwa kupata nafasi hii. Asante sana.
Asante sana. Asante sana wote. Thank you all for your contributions. We're very aware of the time. We're very short of time, but I would firstly like to acknowledge the presence of Honorable Tabia Maulid Mwita, Minister of Youth. She has joined us today. Asante sana, karibu sana. And I would now like to open it up to 3 questions, and I will favor and give priority to the ministers if they have any questions to the 4 panelists who have spoken. Karibuni sana mawaziri.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Moderator. Thank you all the presenters, diplomats, our presenter from Kenya and from Dar es Salaam. I've been very keen to listen to what you have said, and definitely what you have said, it's a lot of meaning. But my issue is rather simple, and it is only how do we really do things? Because we have been doing all along for several years. We have the resources available here. We have youth, very energetic. I can see them well skilled as well. And technology is available in the world. But combining this, the youth, technology, and the resources available becomes so difficult. And I keep asking myself, what are we really missing in the whole process? We have had a lot of projects that were focusing on marine conservation, that were focusing on improving fisheries, artisanal fisheries. But still, we don't move the way we wanted to move. What are the really problems that are facing us? If we can ask ourselves. And the way I see that maybe we are taking programs and the projects developed somewhere and try to impose or implement in another country without considering the level of development of that particular country, and without considering the resource base of that country and the specific nature of those countries. Duplicating. And that's why I've been attentively listening to the last presenter here, where maybe he was feeling the Zanzibar youth are shy and not aggressive enough. But I can assure you they're very aggressive and they're not shy. They're ready to take up the challenges if opportunities are made available to them. So maybe if I can focus my comments on one area. Because we are talking about youth, we are talking about technology, we are talking about blue economy. And these are multi-sectoral in nature. If you talk youth, it's multi-sectoral nature. Youth issues are diverse. If you talk technology, it's again multi-sectoral. If you talk of blue economy, it's also multi-sectoral. Mama Amina said here that with the blue economy, there are issues of oil and gas, there are issues of industries, fisheries, aquaculture, tourism, marine transport and transportations. All these sectors needs multi-sectoral approach. And if it is multi-sectoral approach, are we getting our policies right? Are we getting the institutional setup right? Because if it's multi-sectoral, then definitely you have to have all the institutions well connected, well linked together. And I wanted to ask one question from the experience of Mama Amina here, because they're implementing that project. I was wondering how could they, as PMU, manage that very huge and massive project? How is the coordination? How is the institutional linkages? What are the challenges that you are facing in terms of bringing together all actors and the institutions together? Because my limited experience in this area here show that most of the failures comes from lack of institutional coordination and institutional linkages. And I was suggesting for a change of paradigm. A change of paradigm in the sense that we have first to agree on the overall or overarching objective or anything. If it's an issue of youth employment, we have to agree. What is our overall objective and agenda? We have to agree as stakeholders. What are the interventions that are necessary to be able to attain the overall objectives? And with this intervention, we have to agree on prioritizing the interventions and sequencing them and aligning these interventions with the resources available, whether resources that comes from the government, resources that comes from donor agencies, resources that comes from NGO. All these need to be aligned with the sequencing of the interventions towards achieving the overall objective. So those could be the missing points. And maybe if we can do that, we can start low. Because also, where is to start? It's a question. How do we start? As Zanzibar here, how do we start? Do we start in the middle? Do we start high? Do we start at the bottom? Knowing all this, then definitely we will be able to know where do we start and how to bring together all the actors to be able to achieve the common objective. That's one. But another issue, I think, is the issue of having monitoring and evaluation framework. Once we agree on the intervention, then definitely we should have a mechanism that will allow us to follow the progress of the implementation. Knowing all this, we also have to know how do we leverage partnership whether partnership with the actors in the country, partnership with external actors. How do we live for that kind of partnership? And networking. Because with the networking, internal networks will, provide a forum for exchange of ideas, for exchange of experience, but also networking with neighboring countries like Kenya, like Comoro. We are pursuing a common objective, but we don't connect. We don't network. We don't partner. So these are the issues that I think are very pertinent if we are to succeed with the issues of addressing youth unemployment, issues of, using technology, but also the issue of tapping the resources that we have in the blue economy. Maybe having said that, I leave to other to other people who can comment on this.
Thank you. First, let me thank the panelists. They have presented a good experience, which as a Minister of Blue Economy, I will take some of the creative ideas on board our plans and policies. However, if you may allow me, I will request an intervention from the panelists on 3 areas. The first one, if any one of you can assist me on the institutional arrangements, your experience in the institutional arrangements in blue economy. Blue economy is touching almost every sector, especially in Zanzibar. If we are talking of youth, employment is part of the blue economy. Women is part of the blue economy. Fisheries, blue economy. Tourism, blue economy. Now, we have Ministry of Blue Economy. The main mandate is the oil and fisheries. But we need to coordinate other sectors, including tourism, as I said, youth employment, and other sectors. Now, if you can share with me the legal structure on this area, how your countries manage these areas of institutional arrangements in legal terms, legal framework. How do we go about it? We have several ministries. All of them, as I said, they touch the blue economy. Now, how can we separate the functions and legal integration of these sectors? That's number one. Number two, as islands, we are facing a serious problem of marine spatial planning. How do we really use the sea economically, and how do we optimize the separation? We have tourists, they want to use beach. We have what we call fishermen, they want to use part of the beach. We have seaweed farmers, they want to use part of it. How do we go about it? I need your experience. How do you really separate these allocations of our coastal areas in particular? I need your experience on this. The third intervention on biotechnology. I'm really happy to hear from Madam here the experience of biotechnology from Kenya, but to me, I find it is one of the critical areas. If you can share ideas more, He just mentioned the biotechnology, that we should think of biotechnology. I fully agree with him. But with your experience, especially like my friend from Turkey, how do you take this on board in the blue economy, on the, what we call it, the biotechnology? With that, I would suggest I can give this to another person. Thank you very much.
I think there were some direct questions to our panelists. If we could just allow really very quick responses, as we have to move on to the next session and we're very much aware of time. But I also wanted to once again give special priority to Honorable Tabia Mwita if there's any intervention or question that she may have to the panel before we move on. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Waandaaji, mtanisamehe, I don't know how to speak English that much. I'll try my level best, lakini mtaniruhusu pia nizungumze na Kiswahili. It's my mother language and I like it so very much. Kwa hiyo mimi nitakuwa niko both. Nimejaribu ku-catch up vitu vingi kwa muda ambao nimeweza kufika. The session kama inavyoongea, it's Zanzibar Youth Summit. Tumekutana hapa vijana na vijana wa zamani like Honorable Chuma Blue, Honorable Dr. Khalid. Kwa hiyo tumechanganyika vijana wa zamani na vijana wa sasa, sababu Mheshimiwa Modric Soraga ni kijana mwenzangu wa sasa huyu. Diplomats ambao mpo hapa from Turkish, Madam Amina from Kenya, na wengine. Mimi nafikiri directly, I beg you to allow me to talk about the strategies that we have made in our ministry, the strategies that are directly facing youth. Because my ministry is 100% dealing with youth, and when we are talking about youth, we are talking about their challenges, their success, their future plan, where they want to go, but their contribution to the economic of the nation pia. So tuna mipango mingi, lakini in case of youth, tunayo ile sera ya vijana, we have youth policy, but also many issues concerning young people have been described in our political manifesto of 2020-2025, and directly inatuelekeza namna gani au namna bora ya kuwasaidia vijana katika suala la kuwa na economic muscles. Also it's enable us and it guide us to make sure all of the young people in Zanzibar are able to either employ themselves, teaching them about entrepreneurship, discussing about their different issues. And also we have the National Youth Council, Baraza la Taifa la Vijana, whereby in Tanzania mainland are still on the way to establish the Zanzibar Youth Council. But here in Zanzibar we have successfully established it, and we have already made an election. The leaders are there, and we use that council as a tool of listening the challenges, the strength, the contributions of the young people, of the young generation, and they are linked to the ministry, and then we find the way out to work on those contributions and challenges and everything so that we can succeed in helping young people, but also we make sure we fulfill the political manifest that is guiding us. Kwa hiyo mimi nilikuwa natarajia zaidi, according to what I prepared, Dr. Khalid, I was expecting to receive the contribution, the questions from my young people here. Sisi kama nilivyosema tunayo mikakati yetu ambayo nimejaribu kuelezea kwa kifupi, but I think and I'm sure you have a lot to tell us as a ministry, and maybe to take them and then together to find the way out vipi tunafanya ili tuweze kufanikiwa. Like for example, in short time kuna mchangiaji alikuwa anazungumza, panelist alikuwa anazungumza, watu wakanyamaza kimya, very careful listening to him, but when he mentioned the point of youth being exposed, tufanye vitu vya kuwakutanisha vijana na vijana wengine, like for example we take our young people here, bring them outside Zanzibar, a lot of them clapped, wakafurahi, wakapiga makofi sana. I want you to see the picture. Vijana wetu wa Zanzibar, and this is very true, I know hakutokuwa na makofi, what they like, for example a ministry tunaandaa outreach program, they go to shamba, they travel, they visit, tena wenyewe wanaita utalii wa ndani, and then they come back. If they have learned, they put their books in the bags and then evil, expecting the government to help them. Kumbe haiko hivyo. Also wanahitaji waje watu from outside like Madam Amina and others here, people we don't know. We change exposure, maybe we exchange business cards, we make a selfie, then they go, tumemaliza, it's done. Ndio nature ya most of Zanzibar young people. Let's be honest. I'm there, bado ni kijana mwenzenu naendelea ku experience. Kumbe things are quite different. Tunatakiwa tuwe innovative, one, lakini two, tuwe committed in what we are planning. Like for example, Dr. Khalid nafikiri utakuwa shahidi katika baraza langu la vijana. You have been in Mombasa there, ulifungua kile kituo chao cha Vyarahani, wamekuwa Vyarahani, and they established their center, kwamba watu ambao unemployed people, they meet there, they sit together, wanatengeneza mikakati like kushona vitu, they sell. Dr. Khalid, that session is closed. They are not going there anymore. Kituo kimefungwa, hakuna sababu. Also and yes, and Dr. Khalid contributed big money, lakini vijana hawaendi. Sababu ya msingi is not there. Also tuna programs za ajira kwa vijana, youth employment program tumeanza. Of course it has a lot of challenges. Dr. Khalid, Mr. Blue Economy and Mr. Suraga knows, lakini in other side of the coin ambayo ni part ya young people ambao tunazungumzia ni ile commitment. Like for example we have an agriculture program, we established greenhouses, fishing activities, they demanded boats and other equipment for fishing. Sawa, wamepata, it's a bit. Not, we have started with kidogo, hatujakuwa tumewapa kikubwa. Lakini at least as a government tuna monitor kuona with kile kidogo they have, how are they going to move so far. Last month, Dr. Khalid, I received a letter from Vijana Magharibi B. They are requesting me to please, Madam, hii boti tunaomba tuikolishe kwa sababu hatuwezi kuvua. They wanted a boat for fishing. Government have cancelled some of the activities. They prioritized to buy a boat for certain group of young people, but they say, you know, unajua, samaki siku hizi are very far, we cannot get fish. Sasa we want to rent a boat. Kuna watalii wamekuja, hii boti tuikodishe ikatembeze watalii visiwani na so you can see seriousness jinsi gani haipo kwa baadhi ya vijana, not all of them. Some of them tunashukuru mpaka sasa tunaanza kuona how they go. Like for example, last week I've been in Pemba. Kuna greenhouses mbili, vijana wamelima vegetables. They were dealing with tomatoes, with watermelons, cabbage. Alhamdulillah, wamelima vizuri, and every month, it has been the 3rd month now, every month they earn 3 million and they put in the account. After taking everything, the running cost and everything they have in hand, 3 million, and then they put in the account. But when we talk about that, we're talking about only shehia maybe. 1 shehia, 2 or 3. We have never touched the whole district. Bado wilaya nzima inahitaji the support from the government. So nimeamua kusema haya, nataka vijana wenyewe musense, you feel kwa jinsi gani, kwa mwenendo tunaokwenda, vipi tunaweza kutoka hapa tulipo na kufika pale ambapo tunataka kufika. So mimi nafikiri niendelee kusikiliza zaidi kutoka kwa wadau ambao ni vijana according to hii ilivyopangwa hii session. I'll listen to you. Na wapendeni sana vijana wangu, vijana wenzangu, and I want us to at least move from here we are to where we want to go. At least these 5 years after in 2025 we count how much, yani vipi tumecontribute the government economy, lakini kama vijana the individual earning and experience ya kuwa yani ya kujitegemea kama kijana tutaifikia kwa namna gani. So before finishing, nilikuwa na mambo mawili makubwa ya kuzungumza. The first one ambayo nimeintroduce mwanzo, tunayo program ya ajira kwa vijana. This program imekuwa categorized in many ways. Kuna first phase ambayo vijana wenyewe are very much interested in making business. Like for example, all young people who are dealing with farming, masuala ya ufugaji, masuala ya kilimo, the program is there. And what we have studied katika muda mfupi ni kwamba tukisema we take the money, we give you as a group and then wewe uzalishe, that's not true. As long as we put the money, and Mheshimiwa Soraga has the money, actually I don't have, najua nikija utanipatia kwa sababu bado unawapenda vijana wako. Tumesema as a government tunayo ile monitoring and evaluation session, tunao wale maafisa. Tunataka sasa tufanye partnership between the government and you young people, because you are the human resource. We don't have people. You have the capacity, the energy to work, but we have the resources. So let's make partnership. Tuingie kwenye let's say uvuvi, tuwajengeni mabanda ya kufuga, let's say kuku, tuwajengeni ile incubation center, na tuwajengeni labda ile hatchery, kiwanda cha kusafisha kuku, cha kupek and everything. Jengine la mwisho tuwatafutieni market, like for example in hotels, some other countries like Komoro amekuwepo hapa, manake ameshakuja, na wengine ambao wako interested to buy our kukus and then we sell. I'm sure pale tutapata pesa ya kutosha. Ile pesa tutaigawa katika percent. Kuna percent itarudi kwenu kama vijana na kuna percent itaingia kwenye serikali, ili sisi ule mradi uweze kuwa endelevu. Baada ya kuanzisha kidogo kwenye labda mkoa fulani, iwe kila wilaya kuna vile vituo, kwa sababu tuna uhakika wa soko lile la kutosha. Hiyo ya kwanza. Ya pili, tungependa kuona, kwa sababu kuna vijana wana talent tofauti. Kuna vijana ambao wana pengine amemaliza sawa form 2, amemaliza la 7, lakini huyo kijana kuna vitu anafanya mpaka unashangaa. Anampita hata mwenye degree 2, 1 na 3. Na wale nao tukae nao, tutengeneze mradi, lakini pia ambao tutakuwa tumeshautafutia market. Tufanye nao, yani kila kitu tunaidhani kama serikali na kama wizara, ili kiende tuwe partnership between us and you, kuliko ile dhana iliyopita ya kuchukua fedha tukasema tutawapa elimu. Unajua wana demand pia elimu, wanasema unajua sisi tunapewa pesa na serikali sometimes kama mkopo, lakini hatupewi elimu. Tukipewa ile fedha bila elimu, hatujui jinsi ya kuutilize ile fedha, inapotea yote, kwa sababu tunakuwa tujui hasara inaingiaje na kwa nini kitu kinaleta hasara, faida inakujaje. Kwa hiyo tukasema kama kilio ni elimu, mtapewa. Honorables, tukaanzisha hii program ya giving education first and then giving them the capital. Still the capital is not there. The capital is not there. Ile faida is not there. Yani kila kitu kinaishia hewani. Kwa hiyo as a government, as a ministry, tukasema no. Sasa hebu tuangalie hii njia ya pili ya kuwa partnership kutoka kwenye serikali na kuja kwenu, na ambacho kwenye asilimia kubwa mtabeba nyingi, because you demand, you have families, you have future as well. Lakini vile vile kama serikali pia tunatakiwa tuhakikishe tunakujengeni nyinyi kuwa ndio viongozi wa muda ambao unaokuja, sio wa baadaye, wa muda unaokuja, kwa sababu kijana anaweza akawa kiongozi muda wote, na nafikiri hilo nyote mnalishuhudia katika serikali yetu ya 8 kupitia Dr. Hussein Mwinyi. So for now I don't have much to say. I thank you very much for giving me this respect, for giving me this opportunity to be here sharing ideas with you. But please, tuko pamoja. I can take all the notes that you will provide, and then we are going to work together as long as we are in partner in different countries, from Turkey, from Kenya, from Komoro and other countries. Basi mimi nashukuru pia kwa kupata nafasi hii ya kusema hicho kidogo ndicho kusema. Again, I'd love to apologize for mixing Kiswahili and English, because I don't have that much capacity of speaking English language. I thank you.
Asante sana, Honorable Minister. There has been one request from the Honorable Minister Khalid Mohammed to respond, and then after that we acknowledge also the presence of Honorable Modric Ramadan Siraga, Minister of State, President's Office, Labor, Economy and Investment. Karibu sana, Mheshimiwa. So I will first give the floor to Honorable Khalid Salum Mohammed to respond to some of the issues that were raised, and then I will hand over to Honorable Minister Siraga. Karibu Mheshimiwa.
Which one? Yeah, just for a minute, if you understood me when I was giving my comments, I was saying the need for agreeing on the agenda. That's the most important thing. Agree on the agenda. What is our national agenda? And all stakeholders, we have to abide to that national agenda with our interventions. But the other important thing is that it was said by Madam Amina here, that youth have to change, mindset change. That's very important. Because with the disappointment that were raised here by the minister, on the tailoring project, which I did myself, and I contributed a lot with the boat issue. You know, the problem that we don't have a complete package. That's the problem. We don't send the complete package to the youth. Awareness is very important. I have to be aware of the available opportunities in the blue economy. That's the most important thing. Awareness. The issues of training, education. They have to be trained, properly trained. Awareness, proper training, and then you have to ensure them the availability of market. Those are the most important things, otherwise the project will fail. I must emphasize that we have to send to the youth a complete package and not a piecemeal initiatives. Because if you are sending piecemeal initiative, there is a group of NGO concentrating on awareness and training, another NGO concentrating, you know, giving small money. The ministry is providing them with a boat. It's not being sent as a complete package. Fragmentation will not help. And that's why I was emphasizing that we need to have an overarching objective and map all the actors and stakeholders, define their roles and their responsibilities clearly. And when we are sending, we should send as one package. If we manage to do that, definitely we will succeed. Otherwise, marketing is on its own, training and education is on its own, we will not achieve. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and I think that is why here we try and we see representatives from the different ministries to try to create the linkages and the multi-sectoral approach. I would like to welcome Honorable Modric Saraga to provide a few comments, and then I see Honorable Kombo with a point of intervention as well, so that will happen after. Karibu sana, Honorable Saraga.
Asante sana, moderator. Thank you so much to the panelists, and my gratitude to the organizers for this very important and crucial event. It's my hope that this is our first one, but will be one among the many to come in the future. So I hope it's not a one-off event, but we'll have continuity to have such important forums on our island. I just wanted to make a small intervention as it relates to my ministry. As you are all aware, I'm the minister in charge for labor, economy and investment. And blue economy as the agenda for the 8th phase government plays a crucial part within my ministry in terms of the overall coordination and facilitation. We work hand in hand with the Minister of Blue Economy and the entities that are involved within his ministry, as well as other stakeholders within the tourism industry. I wanted to touch base on inclusivity. We are talking about a policy that in principle is extremely diverse, it's extremely technical, it's extremely beyond the reach of maybe ordinary Zanzibaris. Now, how do we ensure that the general population will benefit in this blue economy agenda that we have? The use of technology is one way to ensure that we are able to touch base on the majority of the population. Blue economy stands to benefit most of the people within the coastal community who are engaged in artisanal fish farming, seaweed, tourism, and so on and so forth. But we have a lot of other, a majority of the population that don't necessarily live within those areas. Some perhaps have never even been on the beach, and they are living on this island. So I think this agenda here, it's an opportune moment for all of us to kind of see how we can leverage technology in order to have a broader outreach for the majority of the population to benefit in the blue economy. Now, one key area of blue economy is ICT. We have a lot of talent on the island, but there's no platform for these individuals to express their talent. We have a lot of software developers, computer scientists, computer engineers, but where do they demonstrate their skills? Where do they apply their skills or leverage their skills in this economy? And ICT is a crucial part of blue economy, especially for an island nation like ourselves. If we are able to leverage ICT, I believe that we'll create a whole new platform of opportunities, especially for the youth, to be able to benefit in the blue economy. Take, for example, if we are going to do deep sea fishing. It's a very highly technical, labor-intensive, labor capital activity. Not everyone can be able to do, to go into deep sea fishing. But what if we establish capital markets where companies that are engaged in that area are able to trade here in Zanzibar, and then the majority of us can buy in by getting shares from that company. So you are an investor, not directly invested in the day-to-day activities of the business, but you already bought your shares that classify you as an investor. Now, capital markets, this is something that for Zanzibar does not exist at the moment. But it's also part of the financial markets, which means there's a lot of ICT inputs that need to go to the development of capital markets. So how we do this? This is the opportunity through this forum for all of you to highlight your ideas on how we can leverage this technology. I've just given this one example, but I believe that there are many more examples that we can come up with to leverage ICT so that everybody can benefit. The same with the tourism industry. Tourism, with the way it's moving at the moment, there's a lot of technological advancements that have developed from the framework of the tour operator, hotel operators, airlines, and so on and so forth. We've had some ideas come on board regarding the setting up of tourism cards. That is one area where I think when you want to develop efficiency within the system, you can use ICT to ensure that you have a proper database of how many tourists are coming into the country, how much are they paying, which sites do they visit, and you have all this wealth of data that you can use, you can leverage, and you can turn it into an opportunity like any other opportunity that is available. So the role of ICT cannot be understated, and if we are talking about an island, it means that we have to utilize technology. We don't have that many physical resources. We don't have enough land. We don't have, let's say, gold or iron, but we can leverage technology, and there are examples, plenty of examples out there in the world the Singapores and the Bangkoks and the Taiwan of your world, who are island nations, who are extremely advanced, who have these huge per capita incomes simply because of the use of technology. So it's a serious debate, and I hope that we can have some serious contributions. My ministry has set up a strategy to invest in ICT platforms, and we encourage PPP partnerships. So whoever has the tools, the technology and the know-how, we can come in and have a discussion to see how we can work together with the government so that we can bring more awareness on the use of ICT to leverage this blue economy policy that we have. Asante sana.
Asante sana, Honorable Soraga, for re-emphasizing the importance of technology, ICT, innovation, but also the change of mindset has been a theme that has been consistent with all the panelists and all our honorable ministers. And to segue now into the final section, Honorable Minister asked to hear from the youth. And this is where we're now inviting the youth to come and share your thoughts, your ideas, the questions that you may have for our panelists and our honorable ministers. I think it's a great privilege to have so many ministers in one sitting, as well as ambassadors and expertise from the private sector, as well as our friends from Kenya who've shared very important examples of things that we could think about. But first and foremost, this is about you, the youth, so it's now time for us to hear from you. I'd now like to hand over to Ms. Zabihuna Omar from Pink Hijab, who will moderate the session for the youth. And I believe we have youth from both Ugunja and Pemba who will be part of this discussion. Karibuni sana.
Honorable Guests of Honor, Ministers of the Zanzibar Revolutionary Government, diplomats, distinguished guests of honor, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's my great pleasure today to stand before you. My name is Zabihuna Omar, and I will be the panelist, I will be the moderator of this panelist for youth. Our panel discussion will be based on agriculture, innovation and entrepreneurship for youth in Zanzibar in relation to technology for blue economy. Our discussion will be having 6 youth from Pemba and Unguja. Let me take this opportunity to welcome the first panelist, who is Ms. Rukaya Ibrahim Kombo from Pemba Youth Voice Organization. You're welcome. The second one is Ms. Yoha Shaib Mohammed from Center for Youth Dialogue. You're welcome. The third one is Aizat Habas from Pemba Environment Sanitation Organization. Mr. Salim Baruk Salim from Salim's Prefab Housing. Mr. Rashid Mwinyi from Pemba Initiative. From Pamoja Initiative, sorry. Ms. Shuen Saif Salim from Refresher Product. The first question is going directly to Ms. Shuen Saif from Refresher Products. Do you see any gender gap in the blue economy opportunities?
Hello everyone, itifaki imezingatiwa. Kwa jina naitwa Shuena Saif Salim, natokea Refresher Products, ni mwanzilishi wa Refresher Products ambaye tunatengeneza vipodozi asili vinavyotokana na mwani. Kwa upande wangu nimeona hii gender gap ipo, na hii inatokana na kwamba vijana wengi wasichana tunaona hizi opportunities. Kwa mfano kama ukiangalia hapa tu wasichana wengi ambao tunaziona hizi opportunity, lakini unakuta hizi opportunity tunashindwa kuweza kuzifikiria kinamna gani, kwa sababu kitu cha mwanzo ambacho kinatufanya tushindwe kuzifikiria hizi opportunities na kuwa kuna hii gap ambayo ipo. Unakuta wavulana wengi ndio ambao wako wana mafanikio zaidi kuliko wasichana katika upande wa ujasiriamali. Unakuta ni kwamba kwanza wale ambao wanahitaji vile vitu hawavipati kwa sababu gani? Kitu cha mwanzo ambacho kinawafanya washindwe kuzipata hizi vitu ni kwamba hawajui njia za kuweza kuzifikiria. Unakuta mtu ana uwezo kufanya kitu lakini anashindwa, na hii ni sababu kwamba kutokana na labda pengine hana elimu ya kuweza kufikiria kile kitu. Lakini vile vile tunakuta kwamba kuna, naomba nianze na hapo, zile opportunities zipo. Sasa unakuta wale ambao wanahitaji, kwa mfano tuchukulie wengi ambao wanahitaji, wanajua kutengeneza vile vitu, unakuta wao katika sehemu za mbali hawajui jinsi ya kutumia technology, hawajui jinsi gani wanaweza kupata masoko, hawajui jinsi gani ambazo zile njia watakazozitumia ili kuweza kupata mafanikio. Watakapopata mafanikio ndio itasaidia pia kuwapa, ikawa ni chachu ya wale wengine pia kuweza, wakiona wale ndio wamefanikiwa, maana ile itaonyesha ile gap ya wale wasichana wengi ambao hawana zile ajira, wanaweza pia kujiajiri na wakaajiri wasichana wenzi wao na kupata maendeleo zaidi, na kuondosha hii gap ambayo ipo kwa kukuta wavulana wengi wanapata mafanikio kuliko wasichana. Na kitu kingine kinakuja, kwa mfano unaweza kukuta kwamba una elimu na unajua unatengeneza vitu, lakini sasa ikaja ile unakuta labda mtu anaweza akaja kama anataka kuwa partner na wewe, lakini sasa kumbe elimu lake hataki wewe uweze kufanikiwa, anataka labda aingie katika biashara yako, kaona biashara yako labda inakuwa, kwa hiyo anataka aingie katika biashara yako, atakapoingia pale aikamate biashara yako. Akishakuikamata, maana wewe like unatengeneza kitu kwa kitu ambacho ni kizuri, lakini hujui njia gani ambayo utaitumia. Atakapokuja mtu atakwambia labda nataka kwa tani, unajua hapa nitapata pesa, lakini kumbe hujui kama utakapofanya vile unaharibu ile biashara yako, na unajua wewe mwenyewe. Lakini atakapokuwa na elimu huyu msichana akajua labda nitaka pengine mtu akija kama ni partner, nikifanya labda nikifunga ile mkataba, akatumia jina langu ikawepo kama jina langu, yeye akatengeneza labda pengine lebo zake au kitu chake, lakini akatumia jina langu kama mimi ndio natengeneza kile kitu, itakufanya wewe uweze kukua zaidi na pia kujulikana, kwa sababu yeye ataendeleza biashara na wewe utakuwa kutokana na ile jina ambalo litakuwa linazidi kukua. Na kitu kingine tunakuta sera ambazo zipo zile pia ni kikwazo. Kwa mfano kama unakuta startup ni wengi na wasichana ni wengi ambao wanajishughulisha na shughuli za ujasiriamali, lakini unakuta utakapoanza kufanya labda pengine utambua kufanya registration tafuta barcode, fanya hivi, lakini unakuta ule mtiririko wa mpaka wewe kufikiria biashara yako inakaa vizuri, unakuta ni changamoto. Na unakuta kwamba utakapoenda kule labda pengine hupati zile information nzuri. Je, hii business yangu nifungue kama nani? Nifungue kama company? Nifungue kama partnership? Au nifungue kitu gani? Unakuwa hauna zile information. Kwa hiyo unaweza kuanza kitu ambacho haujui mwendelezo wake wa kile kitu kitakuwa ni vipi. Ukija pengine katika mambo ya kodi, kama ni startup inakuwa ni vigumu kuweza hizi kodi ni nyingi. Kwa hiyo unajikuta mwisho siku unafika pahali unakwama. Hujui uende wapi, hujui ufanye kitu gani kutokana na zile kodi, ule mfungamano wa zile kodi ambazo ni nyingi, na hujui njia gani ambazo labda unaweza kutumia na ukapata mafanikio zaidi kwa ajili ya kuendelea. Labda ningeomba kitu kutokana na hicho kitu ambacho ninakizungumzia sasa hivi, kwamba ingekuwepo labda na sheria ambayo inawapa favor hawa startup. Tuseme labda pengine kwa miaka kadhaa watakuwa wanafanya zile business zao without any tax ambayo analipa. Ina maana hapa itajenga kitu kimoja. Kwanza itafanya hizi biashara zote tunafanya ziwe trust na wale customers, na kitu kingine pia itasababisha pia pato la serikali kuongezeka. Kila gani atakapoanza kulipa kodi huyu mjasiriamali mdogo, ina maana baadaye ataanza biashara yake, baadaye sasa kulipa kodi. Atakapolipa ile kodi, ina maana pia inaongeza pato la nchi, na pia vile vile itafanya kuondokana na hizi kila siku ni ndogo, kila siku ni ndogo. Utakapokuwa na mtu akiona yale maendeleo na vile ambavyo unafanya, itafanya wale wengine pia uweza fulani kaanza hivi, nimemwona kabisa kaanza hivi. Kwa hiyo itakuwa ni changamoto pia kwa wale wengine, watatafuta namna ya kuweza kufanya kitu ambacho kitafanya wakue. Hii itaondosha ile gap ya kwa hawa wavulana wako wengi katika hii sekta ya ujasiriamali kuliko hawa wasichana. Tutakapokuwa na hivi vitu ambavyo vitatuwezesha sisi kama wasichana kuweza kupata mafanikio zaidi. Asante.
Yes, Shuaib Saif. The second question is directed to Rukia Ibrahim Kombo. What are the opportunities are you looking forward from your government in this blue economy?
Asante sana. Kwa majina naitwa Rukia Ibrahim, natoka Sauti ya Vijana Pemba. Pia ni mwanamke ambaye anaongoza shughuli za feminism kwa upande wa Pemba, kwa kumwangalia mwanamke anaweza kupata majukumu yake ama anaweza kufanya majukumu yake sawa na mwanaume, kwamba tuwe tofauti wa jinsi lakini sio jinsia kwa upande wa Pemba. Katika kuangalia swala zima la opportunity ambazo tunaziona katika kupitia uchumi huu blue katika serikali yetu ya mapinduzi ni nyingi sana. Ya kwanza ambayo tunaiona na sasa inamgusa kijana ni opportunity ya kupata kazi, job. Kwamba tukiangalia katika masuala ya uchumi blue, tunaangalia utalii, tunaangalia masuala mazima ya bahari, na tunaangalia na vitu vingine katika issue za magesi na vitu vingine. Kwa hiyo katika kila sehemu ambayo imegusa uchumi blue ina uwezo wa kumpa ajira kijana kwa namna yote. Katika issue ya utalii anaweza kupata ajira, katika issue ya masuala ya uchumi ya gesi anaweza kujifunza kitu na kupata ajira, lakini katika masuala mazima pia ya bahari au bandari anaweza kupata ajira kwa njia tofauti, katika masuala labda ya kulima mwani, labda katika masuala ya kuvua samaki na vitu vingine. Kwa hiyo ni nafasi moja ambayo tunaangalia na opportunity moja ambayo tunaangalia. Lakini kitu kingine ni kupata uelewa kuhusiana na swala zima la kutumia vile vyombo vya kisasa vya kuvulia, ambavyo hivyo vitasababisha kwa vijana ama kwa jamii ambayo ipo katika masuala ya uvuvi kuweza kufanya kama uvuvi ni sehemu yake ya kuondoa umasikini. Sasa hivi tumeona kwamba uvuvi tunachukulia ni sehemu ya kupata pesa shilingi 2 ama 3 ukanunua kijio chako alafu shughuli imeisha. Lakini hichi kitu ambacho kipo na serikali ambayo imewekea kipaumbele ni kwamba itafanya jamii ama kijana kuweza kufanya kama uvuvi ni sehemu yake kubwa, kwa kuweza kuongeza ule uzalishaji wake wa masuala ya uvuvi na kuweza kuuza kwa eneo kubwa zaidi. Lakini kitu kingine ni kuongeza pato la taifa. lakini si pato la taifa tu, na pia pato la mtu mmoja mmoja. Tukiangalia katika masuala ya utalii, endapo kama utalii utaimarika na utakuwa vizuri, watalii watakuwa wanaongezeka kila leo. Watakapoongezeka watalii, lazima kuna kodi ambazo zinakuja katika taifa letu. Nitakapokuja kodi, ina maana lazima lile pato la nchi yetu litaongezeka. Lakini inapoongezeka pato la nchi yetu, lazima na kwa individual itaongezeka kwa namna moja ama nyingine. Tunachoamini kwamba nchi yetu inategemea sana kodi, ama ndio hivyo, kwa asilimia kubwa inategemea kodi. Kwa hiyo kama kodi itaongezeka, pato litaongezeka, litamfanya mwananchi aliyopo katika nchi yake kuweza kupata vitu vingi kwa urahisi. Kwa hiyo kama alikuwa anatoa zaidi, itamfanya aongeze zaidi na kuweza kuendelea kimaendeleo. Lakini kitu kingine ni swala zima la kukua kwa hiyo utalii wenyewe. Kama sasa hivi tunaona kwamba kipindi cha corona kimesababisha kwamba utalii uko chini. Lakini endapo hii shughuli itafanyika katika hii na maanisha katika swala la utalii litakuwa liko kama ambavyo limepangwa na serikali katika swala hili, litasababisha kwamba kuongezeka kwa hii hali. Yaani tofauti na zamani tulikuwa tunachukulia just luxury, lakini itasababisha kukua na kuweza kuendelea katika maendeleo. Lakini kitu kingine ni kupata huduma zilizo bora za jamii. Huduma za jamii zinatokana na kodi. Kodi yetu tunaotoa ndio inasababisha kupata huduma za jamii. Kwa hiyo tukiangalia muda mwingine tunakuta kwamba tunakwepa jamii, tunakwepa kodi, lakini muda mwingine hata hiyo kodi ambayo tunatoa haitoshelezi kuhakikisha kwamba sisi tunapata huduma bora. Kwa hiyo endapo hii shughuli ya ama tuzungumzie hii uchumi buluu utakuwepo na utakuwa unafanya vile serikali ambayo imezungumza, ina maana itasababisha kuongezeka kwa kodi katika sekta tofauti. Watu wakipata ajira watatoa kodi, watu wakianza kuweka viwanda watatoa kodi. Kodi hiyo ndio itasababisha tuweze kupata huduma bora. Kwa mfano, sasa hivi tunaangalia sera ya elimu inazungumza kwamba kila chuo kimoja kama mtu mmoja la chuo watumie wasichana 20, lakini na wanaume ni 25. Lakini iko tofauti, sio kwa sababu serikali inataka, ni kwa sababu kodi inayopatikana ni ndogo, inashindwa kukizi, na mwisho wa siku unakuta zaidi ya watoto 300 ama 500 tayari tumeshajaribu kuangalia kwa upande wa Pemba wanatumia mtu mmoja, ambayo ni athari kubwa kwa jamii. Kwa hiyo endapo kama utalii utakuwa vizuri, masuala ya viwanda tutapata, masuala ya uvuvi yataimarika, ina maana kodi itaongezeka. Itakapoongezeka kodi, kinachofuata ni kuhakikisha kwamba tunapata huduma zilizokuwa bora katika jamii na za salama. Lakini yote kwa yote ni faida kwa sisi kubwa sana vijana, kwa sababu vijana wengi sana tumejieleza katika masuala ya tegemezi, masuala ya madawa ya kulevya, drug abuse. Lakini endapo kama hii uchumi buluu itakuwa imesimama imara na tunaiangalia kama ambavyo ipo na Mheshimiwa Rais anavyozungumza, itasababisha kijana aondoke hapo alipo, aingie katika masuala ya uvuvi, kwa sababu anaamini akiingia katika masuala ya uvuvi anaweza kupata faida na kuimarisha lile pato lake. Itamfanya aondoke katika kijenge, aweze kujiingiza katika masuala ya viwanda kwa sababu utakuwa kuna ajira. Itamfanya aondoke katika masuala ya drug abuse kwa sababu ana mbadala wa kufanya maisha. Asante sana.
Asante sana Rukia Ibrahim Kombo. Swali la tatu linakwenda kwa Joa Shaibu from Center for Youth Dialogue. Do you see your government involving youth in policy making, considering its engagement in blue economy?
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kwa majina naitwa Joa Shaibu Mohamed, natokea Center of Youth Dialogue Pemba. Serikali, upande wangu katika hili swala nitajibu zaidi kutumia policies mbili. Serikali ina implement au involve vijana katika kutengeneza sera. Wana involve wale government representative tu wanaowachagua, ambao wao hawarudi tena kwa watu kusikiliza shida zao ni vipi. Unapo implement sera unatakana baadaye uje unapotaka kutunga sera unatakana kufanya analysis ya ile sera yako ambayo unataka kuja kuitoa. Lakini wao wanatoa ile sera, mwisho wa siku hawaji kufanya analysis ya ile sera yao vipi inatoa benefit kwa watu au haiimplementiki, ama watu wanapata shida kutokana na sera hiyo. Mfano sera ambayo ipo sasa hivi, sera ya uvuvi, ambayo kila mvuvi anahitajika au na leseni ya uvuvi. Wavuvi wale ambao wanakata zile leseni zao kwa kupitia Zanzibar hawaruhusiwi kutumia zile leseni zao kuvua Tanzania bara. lakini wao wakati Tanzania bara wanaruhusiwa kuja kutumia zile leseni zao kuvua maeneo ya Zanzibar. Hiyo ni changamoto kubwa ambayo wavuvi wanalalamikia sana katika sera hii. Sera imetangazwa na inaimplementiwa, lakini wao hawakurudi kufanya analysis ya ile sera yao. Kwa nini hii sera, kwa nini ina benefit vipi hawa watu, au hawapati faida yoyote kutokana na sera hiyo? Lakini pia tukija katika sera ya kulipa ushuru. Sera ya kulipa ushuru, watu wanaofanya hizi vijana ambao wanajiajiri wenyewe, mtu ana biashara yake, anatakana alipe ushuru. Si sehemu moja wala mbili, anatakana alipe TRB, anatakana alipe TRA, anatakana alipe ushuru wa bahari wakati anasafirisha hizo mazao yake ama anasafirisha hizo product zake. Kwa hiyo ile ni changamoto kubwa, kwa maana anatumia kiasi kikubwa cha fedha kulipa ushuru tu bila kile kiwango kidogo ambacho anaingiza katika biashara yake. Hiyo pia ni changamoto kwa wafanya biashara wadogo wadogo. Wameimplement hiyo sera serikali, lakini hawakurudi kuja kuangalia jinsi gani hii sera inakuwa inawaathiri hawa watu ambao wana nini. Lakini pia sera serikali kama kipindi cha corona kuwa waliondosha wale wavuvi wasikae kwa magrupu, lakini hawakuwekea sehemu maalum ya kuwa wakae wapate nafasi toshelezi ambayo itawafanya wao wasipate maingiliano kwa wingi na kuendelea na biashara zao. Kwa hivyo mimi nasema, kwa hivyo katika kutumia sera hiyo hapo mbili inaonyesha wazi kwamba serikali wanatumia watu wachache, kwamba wale ni government representative ambao wanatumika katika baraza la wawakilishi kuimplement sera, lakini hawarudi kuifanyia analysis zile sera zao kuona ina benefit kwa watu ama ina effect vipi hawa watu wanaoko nchini. Asanteni.
Thank you very much. The next question is to Isaac Abbas from Pemba Environmental Sanitation Organization. With the current situation of the pandemic, what are the challenges do you see yourself facing in engaging in the blue economy by using technology in your daily activities?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kwa majina naitwa Isaac Abbas Hamis, na natokea Pemba kwenye organization moja inahusika na mambo ya kusafisha mji. Tunahakikisha kwamba tunaweka mji safi kwa ajili ya kukimbiza maradhi yanayoambukizwa na mazingira, kwa mfano kipindupindu. Swali lako dada linasema kwamba kwanza nitajikita kwenye masuala ya uvuvi like mwani na samaki. Mimi nitakwenda sehemu mbili tu. Challenge ambazo zinawapata watu wa mwani ni nyingi. Kwanza ukiangalia hawana elimu, halafu swala jingine ni kwamba hawana vile vifaa ambavyo vitawakidhi kwenye ile nini ambalo zao ambalo wanaenda kulilima. Kwa mfano, mvuvi wa mwani anaenda kulima baharini mwani, anaondoka na kidau na anaenda masafa marefu. Kwa hiyo kule anapoenda anaenda kulima ile zao, ukiangalia ile zao ambalo anaenda kulima ni kwenye bahari, na kwenye bahari anasimama mita nyingi kwenda chini. Kwa hiyo mimi changamoto ambayo naikuta ama inawakuta wakulima wa mwani ni elimu ndogo ama nini vifaa hivyo wanapotumia ni vidogo. Kwa hiyo nilikuwa naomba serikali iwasaidie kuwapa ile miundombinu ambayo itawakidhi sana kwenye shughuli zao hizo wanazozifanya. Kiupande mwingine tunaenda kwenye challenge za wavuvi wanaovua samaki. Mvuvi anaovua samaki anatumia boti za kawaida, anakwenda masafa ambayo sio marefu sana kupata kile kitu ambacho anakifuata. Kwa hiyo akaenda kule kupata kile kitu ambacho anakifuata, example samaki, anarudi huku, sio? Kwa hiyo akisharudi huku ile kule masafa maji yanayokwenda kuchezea hayakidhi na ile pesa ambayo anatumia. Kwa hiyo serikali tunaomba kwamba iwasaidie maboti ambayo yatawasaidia kwenda masafa marefu, wakirudi kule wapate soko ambalo watauzia samaki na itakidhi mahitaji ya kile ambacho wameenda kufanya kazi. Jengine ni kwamba katika kipindi cha corona, kwanza wavuvi hawaamini, wavuvi ama wakulima wa mwani ama wavuvi wa samaki hawaamini kitu kama corona ipo. Kwa hiyo nilikuwa naomba kwamba ombi langu serikali muwape elimu, waamini kwamba hichi kitu kipo, wakienda kwenye masoko wajue wanakaa vipi, na huku kwenye mwani nao pia wajue vipi wanajaribu kulitreat hili jambo ambalo lipo ama hili gonjwa ambalo lipo. Jambo jingine ni kukosekana kwa uvuvi kwa utalii. Sisi kule kwetu Pemba kuna sehemu zinaitwa Mantarif. Huko watalii wanaenda sana. Lakini kutokana na hili gonjwa ambalo lipo, sasa hivi tumekosa ongezeko sana na watalii limepungua. Kwa hiyo ni changamoto sana kutokana na janga ambalo lipo. Nawakilisha, asanteni.
Asante sana. Swali linalofuata linakwenda kwa Salim Mbaruk Salim. In brief, share your roadmap toward your success, both positive and negative, in relation to your government support.
Nashukuru sana. Kwa jina naitwa Salim Mbaruk Salim, and I currently serve as the Chief Executive Officer of SP Housing, ambapo sisi ofisi zetu sana sana zimekuwa based upande wa bara, lakini visiwani tunatekeleza baadhi ya projects. Kwa hiyo kiufupi tumepartner huku na baadhi ya project na baadhi ya kampuni ambazo zipo huku visiwani tunafanya kazi katika miradi mbalimbali. Na kampuni yetu kikubwa ambacho inakifanya, we do something that we call alternative construction practices. Kwa hiyo kwa Kiswahili fasaha maybe ni ujenzi mbadala. Kwa hiyo prefabricated housing, sandwich panels, steel structure construction na vitu kama hivyo. Kwa hiyo umeomba success stories, lakini nitakupa vile vile umeomba na failure stories kutokana na mifumo ambayo ipo na ina exist katika nchi yetu, especially hapa visiwani. Kuregister kampuni kiuhalisia sasa hivi at least pongezi ziende katika regimen hii ambayo ipo, kumerahisishwa. Everything has been made electronically, kwa kila kitu na kwa rahisi. Lakini kama walivyozungumza wale wanatangulia, kuna vipengele ambavyo definitely nizungumze wazi na serikali vinahitaji marekebisho, especially kwa biashara ngeni. Biashara mpya ambazo zinapoingia, tuangalie mifumo mbalimbali, how can we actually empower these sorts of businesses ili zikue, kwa sababu dhumuni la biashara sio mfanya biashara pekee apate pesa ajenge nyumba. Hapana, serikali iangalie katika upande wa pili, upande ambao wengi hawauoni. Katika kila biashara serikali itambue kwamba every business that is registered, properly registered in a country, the government is a partner, kwa sababu government anapata gawio lake la kodi na vitu kama hivyo. Na Zanzibar kama nilivyosema walitangulia, kuna mifumo mbalimbali ya kodi. Lazima ulipe kodi TRA, ulipe kodi ya ZRB, pengine wengine wamesema na vitu vya kodi za bandari. Kwa hiyo tuangalie namna gani tunaweza tukawa tunamsupport au tunamkandamiza mfanyabiashara mpya. Je, in 5 years biashara hiyo itakuwa bado ipo au ishaanguka? Ile biashara ambayo inaendelea, je, tunaangalia kwamba kuna sustainability plan ya kuja kuzalisha ajira? Kwa sababu ukiweka mfumo ambao unakandamiza zaidi kuliko kusupport, uplift, inakuwa hiyo nayo ni tatizo. Kwa hiyo sisi we've had an extensive hand katika operations, particularly kwa sababu sera zilizopo au environment ambayo ipo upande wa bara ina favor sana innovative technologies. Let me be very frank, ina favor innovative technologies. Huku kwetu unakuta kuna idara, kuna bodi ambazo they are still skeptical, wana wasiwasi na hizi fikra au idea mpya. Lakini kama alivyosema Mheshimiwa Waziri, there needs to be a paradigmatic change in thought if we are to ensure uchumi wa Zanzibar, especially uchumi wa blue, una undergo transformation. Na labda ninukuu kutoka kwenye Vision 2050 ya serikali ya Zanzibar ambayo imekuwa published na serikali ya mapinduzi ya Zanzibar, Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar. Imeweka wazi priority areas kadhaa. Mbili kati ya hizo ni one, blue economy, na ya pili ni creative technological economy, digital economy. Na huu ni uwanja wetu vijana, tusidanganyane. Creative, technological and digital economy ni uwanja wetu. This is where we prosper. Sisi tunaenda na wakati wetu kufanya vitu kama hivi. Kwa hiyo, and if strategically put to thought, factor hii exactly hii hapa ambayo ni creativity, innovative technology na masuala hayo ya digital transformation, hii inaweza ikafuel baadhi ya vitu vingine including blue economy if properly put to practice. Hii inaweza ikafuel single-handedly ikafuel blue economy as we know of it. Of course kuna factor, kuna priority areas nyingine ambazo ni industrial and trade, kuna tourism ambayo ni uti wa mgongo wetu, kuna agribusiness as well as finance and investments. So tunawezaje kumwezesha kijana wa Kizanzibari kuhakikisha ana play a very important role katika kukuza sera hii ya uchumi wa blue? Ni lazima we have to give an avenue to qualified and professional youth in Zanzibar. I'm pretty sure Mheshimiwa Waziri tayari wanakuwa na probably wana institutions au database ambayo kuna registered members kule. Kwa ni lazima kivyovyote vijana wapewe avenue hiyo, wapewe jukwaa hilo la kuhakikisha fikra zao innovative zinatumika katika kuhakikisha uchumi wa blue nao wana contribute. In fact, tunawezaje kupima kama kweli kupewa vijana idea zao mpya, innovative ideas, these technological frameworks zinaweza kuleta mabadiliko? Kufanya hivyo ni lazima tuangalie existing framework ambayo ipo ndani ya Zanzibar. And by existing framework tunaangalia tunamwezeshaje mfanya biashara especially kijana. Kwa tunaangalia vitu kama financial institutions, banking, anapataje pesa, je kuna mikopo nafuu? Kwa sababu kijana ambaye anaanza ametoka chuo anaanza biashara yake, huwezi kumwambia yake security nyumba. Kwa hiyo hizi sera za financial inclusion, banks na vitu kama hivyo ni lazima tuangalie vina play a very important role katika kumwezesha kijana kuchangia katika uchumi wa blue. Kuna education institutions, I cannot stress this enough, umuhimu wa education institutions ndani ya kuchangia uwezo wa vijana katika blue economy. Wenzetu, our counterparts upande wa bara, they have made initiatives. Tayari wana asasi ambazo zina exist kama UDEC, University of Dar es Salaam Innovation Entrepreneurship Center, ambayo I'm also privileged to be a lecturer pale. Ile institutions inachokifanya inachukua mawazo ambayo wanayachuja, wanaangalia, wanawezesha, they empower, wanakutafutia soko, they look for funding kama Space wanavyofanya. Kwa sababu lengo ni nini? Lengo ni kuhakikisha ile biashara ambayo inabebwa, inasaidiwa, that is being embraced, inazalisha ndani ya nchi, inatoa ajira ambacho ni cha msingi, na vile vile inachangia katika pato la serikali. Kwa institutions kama hizi kivyo vyote, education institutions zina play a very important role ndani ya Zanzibar na katika kujenga uchumi wa blue. And of course, haifichiki kwamba designated parastatals including ministries, agencies na parastatals nyingine pia nazo zina jukumu kubwa ku advocate, ku embrace vijana, kuhakikisha policies ambazo zinatengenezwa
zinamwezesha mtu ambaye ana technological and innovative ideas, kwamba inazalisha ndani ya nchi na ina contribute katika the bigger picture, katika manifesto ya nchi ya kuhakikisha blue economy inakuwa. Kwa hiyo policy is very important. So I would like to urge vijana wenzangu, it is very evident, tunajua kwamba Zanzibari tunaweza. We can do it. We can do it. Now, let it be known that granted an opportunity, if you are granted an opportunity, nazungumza na vijana wenzangu, if you are granted an opportunity to be a part of kuchangia katika ujenzi wa uchumi wa blue, hujafanyiwa favor. That is not a favor, bali ni jukumu lako kuhakikisha in one way or the other unachangia katika ujenzi wa uchumi wa blue. Hujafanyiwa favor, ni jukumu lako. It spreads around all disciplines, whether it's tech, whether it's medicine, whether it's Sharia. Ni jukumu lako kuhakikisha kuanzia sasa, how am I empowering, how am I adding value katika serikali yangu. So kuna msemo unasema, if you are given 30 days to cut down a tree, you should spend 29 days sharpening your axe. Ukipewa siku 30 kukata mti, tumia siku 29 kuhakikisha shoka lako umelinua vizuri, ili hiyo siku moja ulikate kamilifu kabisa. Kwa hiyo ndio mentality ambayo tunatakiwa tuwe nayo sasa. Maandalizi yaanze sasa hivi. Kwa hiyo na vile vile I would like to urge, to conclude, I would like to urge also vile vile upande wa serikali kwamba there needs to be a marriage, tuoane kati ya vijana na serikali. If we are truly aiming kwa vijana kama sisi na wengineo kuchangia katika uchumi huu wa blue, lazima tushirikishwe kikamilifu, na hatutaki to be sidelined, kwa sababu sisi ndio tutakuwa watumizi sahihi wa mafanikio ya uchumi huu wa blue. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Mr. Salimu Mbaruk Salim. The next question is going directly to Mr. Rashid Mwinyi from Pamoja Initiative. From your pilot study, do you agree that Unguja youth are being favorably comparing to Pemba youth in the blue economy? You're welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Rashid Mwinyi. I'm a chairperson of Pamoja Youth Initiative. Pamoja Youth Initiative ni taasisi ambayo inawawezesha vijana kuweza kutambua uwezo wao na kutumia fursa zilizopo katika kuleta mabadiliko chanya kwenye jamii zao. Thank you very much for your very technical person. Nimesikia watu wameguna walivyoliuliza hilo kwa sababu ni swala la uchokozi somehow, lakini I will try my level best kuweza kulijibu, na nataka ni challenge swala lenyewe. Nadhani hata lingebakia kwamba je, vijana wa Kizanzibari wamekuwa favored kwenye blue economy, basi pia lingetosha kuweza kutoa majibu, na majibu pengine yanaweza kawa sahihi, lakini uliza nitalijibu hivyo hivyo. Actually I'm not sure kwamba intentionally vijana wa Unguja wanapata opportunity zaidi ama fursa nyingi zaidi, lakini naona kuna structural ambayo ina favor vijana wa Zanzibar kuliko vijana wa Unguja kuliko vijana wa Pemba. Na kwa nini? Tukiangalia opportunities nyingi zipo Unguja. A vivid example, Zanzibar Youth Summit. I'm not sure kwamba hii itafanyika Pemba. Kwa hiyo unaweza kucount kwamba ni vijana watatu tu wametoka Pemba, lakini hapa pana vijana karibu 100 wanatoka Unguja. Kwa hiyo unaweza kuona some opportunities ambazo zinawa neglect vijana wa Pemba, na pengine zimechukuliwa jitihada za maksudi na Pink Hijab kuwaleta vijana wa Pemba, lakini makongamano kadhaa yamekuwa yakifanyika hapa ambayo yanahusiana na blue economy, yanahusiana na technology and the other issues ambazo ni very very important kwa vijana, lakini wamekuwa somehow marginalized. So kuna hiyo kwamba kuna opportunity kubwa ama nyingi kwa upande wa Unguja, lakini pia infrastructures and some implementation of so many projects imekuwa ikifocus kwa vijana wa Unguja kuliko wa Pemba. Kwa hiyo nayo hiyo kidogo inapunguza ile fursa ya vijana wa Pemba. I'm not saying kwamba vijana wa Pemba hawapati fursa, lakini maana yake ukiweka mezani vijana wa Unguja watakuwa kidogo ama kwa kiwango fulani wako juu zaidi. Kwa hiyo sasa nikija kwenye ile swala ya general kwamba je, vijana wa Zanzibar wameweza kupata ama wamekuwa privileged kwenye technology and blue economy, I would say kwamba we still tupo kwenye yale maneno ambayo tunataka kuyatoa kwenye maneno kuyapeleka kwenye utekelezaji, kwenye actions. Ni kwamba really the government serikali ina nia nzuri na taasisi nyingine zote wana nia nzuri kwa vijana kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba vijana wanatumia technology kwa ajili ya kuleta maendeleo si tu kwenye uchumi wa blue, hata kwenye sekta nyingine. Lakini maneno yamekuwa ni mingi kuliko ile direct actions ambazo kweli unaziona hizi zinaweza kuleta impact. For instance, naweza kusema kwenye blue economy, nasema tunataka kutumia technology. Tuna base zaidi katika tunasema substantial issues ambazo hazina tija kubwa kwa vijana. Tunataka kuna blue economy inatakiwa iwe sasa ni commercial kwa Zanzibar, ambayo italeta ajira, italeta benefits kwa nchi, italeta, kwa sababu kama tulivyoambiwa vijana kwa mujibu wa sensa ya mwaka 2012 ni 35%, which is almost 456 youth. Na youth unemployment rate ni 21.3%, ambapo 62% ya labor force ni vijana. Kwa hiyo sasa tunawatengeza vijana kuja kuwa ni substantial workers kwenye industry ya blue economy, kwa sababu we do not want to invest much in the blue economy. I could be very happy to see the government is seriously investing kwenye blue economy. For instance, tukaanzisha some courses ambazo zitakuwa moja kwa moja zinatu privilege kwenye blue economy. Zitakuwa pengine tuna invest kwenye oil and gases, tuna invest kwenye renewable energy, tuna invest kwenye fisheries, kwenye logistics and transportation. Vyuo vyetu hapa zinaanzisha courses hizi ambazo vijana wengi wanaweza kupata ajira. So pengine ni vijana wawili au watatu wanakuwa wanafadhiliwa na serikali kwenda kusoma, na tunahitaji viwanda ambavyo vitakuwa directly vina implement ama vina touch blue economy. Tuangalie tulivyotaka kuingia kwenye utalii. Wakati kilimo kilivyosuasua hapa kwenye uzalishaji wa karafuu, tukasema tunaingia kwenye utalii. So tunawatengeza vijana wao kwa ni vijana ambao wafanyakazi ambao sio muhimu. Ukienda almost managers wa mahoteli na wale wafanyakazi muhimu are not the youth from Zanzibar. Kwa hiyo sasa tukiendelea sasa kusema tu we really go to blue economy without heavily investing in youth, vijana wote watakuja kuwa ni wale wafanyakazi wa kawaida kwenye zile industry kubwa zinazofanya blue economy. Kwa hiyo we need really to invest much kwenye blue economy. Hapo ndo tutaweza kuona kwamba vijana wa Zanzibar wamekuwa favored na kweli wanakuwa driven toward the blue economy. Asante sana.
Thank you very much. Okay, let me take this opportunity to welcome the Mwaka for Weather Please session.
Asanteni sana, and thank you very much to the youth for helping us hear your voices, both from Unguja and Pemba, some of the challenges and the opportunities, and really talking to your fellow youth, but also to us, and specifically to the government. Tunashukuru sana. Time is really not in our favor, and we must wrap up. So mimi ningependa niwashukuru sana for coming, and Pink Hijab is determined to continue to working with the youth. I understand that Khadija Omari, as we speak, is working on hosting a similar summit in Pemba. That's why she was not able to be with us here today. She's busy working and talking with partners that could possibly support a similar initiative in Pemba. So Pink Hijab will continue to work with the government of Zanzibar here, and will continue to want to have opportunities such as this to continue working with the government of Zanzibar. As a last activity before the final wrap-up, I would like, it is more ceremonious, it is an awarding of a ticket voucher to and fro to Turkey from Pink Hijab. And here I would like to ask the Honorable Minister Khalid Mohammed and His Excellency Dr. Nugmet Guloglu to come up to the front, and I would call up Mr. Abubakar from Pink Hijab to do the honors. Asanteni sana.
Good afternoon. Time is not in our favor. My name is Abubakar Khamis Ali, a General Secretary of Pink Hijab from Dodoma, Tanzania. Through Pink Hijab initiative, we have done an S competition concerning blue economy, and here we have a winner from Pemba. Said here, our winner is Isaac Abbas Khamis. We as Pink Hijab, we added her a certificate and a gift from Turkish ambassador. Thank you very much.
Hongera sana, congratulations. Thank you very much. And before we finally wrap up, I'd like to call up one of the sponsors for this event to give us 1 minute presentation and to thank us. Okay, and then I will do that. Asante. So after this message from the sponsor, I will give the final words to the honorable ministers. Youth panelists, karibuni mshuke. Asanteni.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Selemani Abdallah. On behalf of NAMA Foundation and NICE Tanzania, first of all, I'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of the supporters to congratulate Pinky Hijab and my fellow youth, and also the government of Zanzibar for accepting the initiation of this dialogue. I take upon to challenge and to give the tool for making this sustainable and making this dialogue to be revolving. It's good to hear that Sister Hadija is taking another initiative to do this one in Pemba. We as NICE Tanzania and NAMA Foundation also will be in hand to support this initiative as well. Let me quickly, because the time is not on our side, to talk a little bit about the NICE Tanzania and NAMA Foundation as developing catalysts and supporters of the youth initiatives and programs. It was a great news when we heard that Zanzibar is establishing, Pinky Hijab is initiating the Zanzibar Youth Summit. We call upon the government, and especially the Blue Economy Ministry, to take this as a project, to make the blue generation. Because when we are talking about the generation, we are talking about the youth. So let's take this summit as the eye-opener for us to give the youth an ecosystem toward this economy. I don't want to talk much on the blue economy because my colleague has talked a lot since morning, but what I have observed is, I think you have seen that this youth need an ecosystem, they need the tools. I only have to wind up by saying these people need the so-called ask. What is ask? Ask is the abbreviation of attitude, skills, knowledge, and also not only ask, but ask TM. They need also to be equipped with the tools and the techniques and also methodologies. Why we are saying this is a NAMA Integrated Center for Excellence, because we are much thinking of that development needs to have a development catalyst, and the youth needs to be empowered. I have observed that for Zanzibarian, because the concept is about turning the words into action. You can see turning the words into action, but by using the technology. So let's start with the technology and seeing how we can provide the youth with the ecosystem. Because majority of the youth now are on the Facebook, on the Twitter, on the Instagram. How can we take there and then changing their attitude, empowering them with the skills? Because we have observed we don't get much from what we are taking from the schools. And now the generation are changing. Now we are talking about the blue economy. Our schools need to understand what is blue economy. It's not only about this summit and having maybe a few 3 or 4 dialogues. We need to take this to our schools. We need to take this to our universities, to change their attitudes, to empower them with the skills, to give them the tools and techniques how they can intervene. I have heard from Kenya, and also from the Department of the Blue Economy, there is about a culture tourism. How these youth can take the step toward the culture tourism. The tourism toward the blue economy, aquaculture, ocean energy, shipbuilding. We heard now Zanzibar is going to invest on this, so we need to empower them to give them the tools. So we in NICE Tanzania will be hand in hand to support all the initiatives together with our development partner from Malaysia, NAMA Foundation, to support this platform like this one, to make sure the youth are changing their attitude. We have some initiatives, like a few projects we have initiated, but mainly in mainland. We are going maybe to bring again here in Zanzibar. We have a bright project. We have the CLP, Community Leaders Program. We have also ACT. ACT means Attitude Transformation and Cultivate. On the other time, when you get the opportunity, we are going to see how we can bring this to Zanzibar. So let me not take much of the time, but I challenge also my fellow youth. Let's take something from this summit. Let's take the step from this summit. Not only I have attended, but what have you learned from this summit? What opportunity and challenge are you going to take toward to your fellow youth, and how you can support your economy? Thank you, and let me wind here. Thank you all.
Asante sana kaka Sulemani. To wind up, a few words from the Honorable Minister, and then after that, I'd like to humbly request before you leave for one picture as you're exiting. Asante sana, karibu Honorable Minister.
Tanzanians are orators. You're amazing, amazing speakers. I'm a communication expert. I teach communication. The power of language, your gestures. I work with a lot of young people. I'm always telling them, project your voice. Jielezeni more, express yourself. I've never seen anything like this. Really, really. And that's why ask yourselves, and you need to see what is your strength. What is your biggest export? Bongo flavor. Why? It's expression. Sisi Wakenya tukitaka kufungiana wanawake tunaweka taarabu. Because it sends the message, I don't need to talk. Mwanaume akitaka kumtongoza mwanamke bongo flavor. So, really, and this is such a strong skill in product marketing. Msione Kiingereza ati handicap, you know? Wacha wa Kenya na watu wengine, they shouldn't lie to you. English language is not it. You have a market of over almost 300 million people Swahili speaking. You have Uganda, you have Kenya, you have Burundi, you have Congo. Yani mimi mwenyewe naamini hii seaweed, Mkenya akitengeneza seaweed lotion atakwambia paka hii utakaa smart. Mtanzania atakwambia unataka nini uwe sijui skin haridi, unataka upendeze, nunua hii. We are more likely to buy that because you're storytellers. And in marketing any product, anything, you need storytelling. And you're good at that. So you should harness that. And whatever product mko nayo, harness your storytelling skills. I tell you, I'm so impressed with Tanzania. I've lived in many countries. I've traveled almost 50 countries. And the man that stole my heart is a Tanzanian. I'm married to a Tanzanian man. But unfortunately, I have pulled him to Kenya. I've never lived here. Na siye peke yake. Mimi mke wa tatu. Ana watoto 18. Wote, the last one is now being taken to Kenya because there are more opportunities. And I like Tanzania. I like one day to come back and live here. I want to retire here. My father is buried in Korogwe. So we used to come a lot here. But there's a few things that I think as a country you can do to get to where the rest are. And to invite people like us. So tafadhalini, you have a skill, you have over 300 million Swahili speaking customers waiting. Alafu another thing, you should feel pain. Kwa nini sisi watu wanje wa Kenya wakuje kwenu, tuchukue machungwa yenu, tupeleke kwetu, tupackage, tuwarudishie made in Kenya? You should feel pain about these things. Create your own. Don't accept that. Maybe I want to see, Blue Band made with fish oil, which is more organic, which is better, from Zanzibar. Everybody is going healthy way. We want better margarine. Why is it that we're here, we go and buy, So at least I want you to feel pain. Create your own. And finally, I want to, Honorable Dr. Khalid, you mentioned about why is it not working. And it's very important to create bespoke, tailor-made projects.
A lot of people make that mistake. Na umesema ukweli, watu unakuja na hii model, you try and apply it anywhere. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And that's why we say, I worked in the EU for over 10 years. We used to do youth exchanges. Pale, immediately, you can just tell a young 16-year-old, we are going to Italy today, we are going to, because the parents did not play a big role in their life. When I came back to Kenya, anything I do, I involve parents and I involve teachers. So for any project that we do, we have to do a feasibility baseline needs assessment. Every area, what is it, how do young people learn? And most coastal areas to Mona, they're very much family oriented. So whatever project tunafanya, we have to make sure parents are also involved. The teachers are also involved. So again, why is it failing? Change of mindset, create that public awareness and culture. In Kenya, we didn't know about the blue economy until we had this big conference in 2018. That's when people started knowing, okay, this is what it means. So again, change of mindset and that. And finally, evaluation. You talked about monitoring evaluation. Fanyeni follow-up impact assessment. You know, we always say, any project that I design, I'd rather say I'm going to train 10 young people all the way than 500 young people and they'll just get lost. Because I do these 10 people, and you talked about seed funding. Every budget, I'd rather some money goes now when train how to make this plastic bottle. And then ukamwacha tu. I need to give this young person, make sure there's seed funding. Aende atengeneze and the startup. And what we do is it's not easy to give them money. What is your equipment? What do you need to take this? And you know, from then, to create other jobs, young people will come in. So again, the follow-up and monitoring evaluation. Thank you so much. And again, please, you have the power of language and you can sell ice to an Eskimo and they say, thank you.
Okay, karibu sana, Honorable Waziri.
Sawa, na niende pamoja na shemeji yetu hapa amesema tuwe proud na lugha yetu. Kwa hivyo naomba nizungumze ili nitoe message kwa wale waliozungumza hapa. Maneno mawili tu. La kwanza ni suala la sera. Sera ya blue economy kwamba vijana hawashirikishwi. Nataka nitoe maelezo. Sera ya blue economy ilitayarishwa draft na awamu iliyopita. Awamu mpya wamekuja kuireview sera. Sera imekamilika kwa upande wa technicians kama mlivyosema. Tunakwenda kwa stakeholders. Kuanzia most likely wiki inayokuja tutakuwa na mkutano mkubwa wa stakeholders hapa pamoja na Pemba. Kwa hivyo sera ya blue economy ni yenu nyinyi vijana hasa, na imeeleza maeneo mengi sana kuhusu vijana, opportunities na namna gani tutaweza kunana. Na si sera tu, tunayo pia implementation strategy, namna gani tuta implement hiyo sera. Sasa hii itakwenda pamoja, tunazungumza sera alafu tunazungumza swala namna gani tutaitekeleza sera. Kwenye workshop hii ya stakeholders yote haya tutayaeleza. Kwa hivyo niwaombe tu vijana muwe karibu na mje muwe zungumze lile ambalo linawatouch katika sera yetu. Sawa? Hilo la kwanza. La pili ni suala la Dr. Khalid alizungumza hapa kwamba serikali inaanzisha projects, kwa mfano amesema kuanzisha projects zile za boti, halafu boti zinashindwa kuendelezwa. Sisi kama Blue Economy Ministry tumeliona hilo, na tunachokifanya sasa tunatengeneza programs za kila area ya Blue Economy, ni inclusive. unapewa. Kwa mfano nitoe mfano tu, kuna intervention tunaifanya kwa ajili ya these small scale fishers, wavuvi wadogo wadogo. Tumeamua kwamba tunataka kwanza kuwa group kama wavuvi 20,000 from different areas. Tutaanza kwanza kuwasomesha nini wanatakiwa kuvua na nini namna gani wavue. Baada ya hapo tunawapatia zana za kuvua na tunawapeleka practical kabisa wakavue. Baada ya kupewa sasa zile zana na kuvua, unapokuja tutatengeneza landing sites au bandari za uvuvi kwa kila mkoa. Unakuja tayari tumeshaanza kuzungumza na wawekezaji ambao watanunua samaki wote wanaovuliwa Zanzibar. Kwa hivyo kwa kweli tayari haya mipango ipo. Kwa hivyo tunakwenda kama alivyosema, yuko presenter mmoja alisema unapopewa shoka unapopewa share kukata mti kwa siku 30, jitayarishe kwa siku 29 uweze kukata kwa siku moja. Na sisi tunafanya hivyo, tuko kwenye planning stage. Nataka niwahakikishie kwamba katika muda mfupi unaokuja mtaona matunda ya mipango yetu ya blue economy. Nawashukuru sana.
Mimi niseme mambo machache. Kwanza nirudie lile alilolisema Mama Amina hapa, la kwamba vijana wako aggressive enough na wana uwezo wa kujieleza. Nadhani hili limejibu lile swala ambalo nilizungumza kabla, kwamba hawako wavivu hivyo, hawako shy hivyo. Na ni kweli tumeona panelists wote, mimi mwenyewe sikutegemea panelists wote wamejiexpress vizuri sana. Na kwa kweli tuwapongeze sana sana sana, na hiyo inaashiria kwamba vijana wa Kizanzibari wako active, wana uwezo wa kujieleza na wanajua matatizo yao pia. Sasa ni challenge kwetu sisi kama serikali, lakini pia challenge kwa development partners, agencies wote kutengeneza mipango ambayo sasa itawasaidia kutoka hapa walipo kwenda kule tunakokutarajia. Mimi nataka kusema machache ili tusiondoke hapa tukawa kidogo kuna vitu hatujaviweka sawa. Limezungumzwa suala la ugumu wa kufanya registration kwa biashara, lakini pia kucertify zile products, na hili lilizungumzwa. Lakini pia walizungumzia masuala ya multiplicity ya taxes. Nadhani hili serikali imeliona, na nadhani wakati Dr. Hussein Mwinyi wakati wa kampeni yake alilizungumza sana kwa wajasiriamali wadogo wadogo, na alihakikisha anaweka ahadi kwao kwamba kodi zile zinazozuia wafanyabiashara kukua zinaondoka, na kazi hiyo imeshafanyika. Nadhani kulikuwa na utaratibu wa kutengeneza zile identity card kwa wajasiriamali wadogo wadogo ili waweze kupata unafuu mkubwa katika malipo ya kodi. Kwa hiyo hili linafanywa kazi na serikali, lakini pia masuala ya registration nadhani yamekuwa simplified sana. Lakini kama bado kuna changamoto, it's a forum kama hii, lakini pia na nyingine, mueleze very specific kwamba procedure hii bado tunaiona ngumu, ili serikali itizame kama kuna uwezekano wa kuifanya iwe rahisi zaidi. Wizara ipo hapa, inaweza ikachukua hilo, lakini na wizara nyingine zote zinazohusika inaweza kuchukua. Msiseme tu kwamba procedures cumbersome and complex. Be specific so that we address the really issue which really frustrate your development. Nadhani hili litakuwa ni la msingi. Lakini la pili la dipsi naliacha kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Waziri ameshalizungumza vizuri sana. Nilikuwa nakuja kwamba lile moja alilolisema ndugu yangu yule, sijui mwanangu, nadhani yule pale anaweza kuwa mwanangu au mjukuu wangu, suala la vijana hawaruhusiwi au hawashirikishwi katika maandalizi ya sera. Kidogo hili nataka ndio tofauti na mawazo yake, kwa sababu katika kipindi chote tunachotengeneza mipango ya serikali, sera za serikali, vijana ni grupu muhimu sana ambalo linakuwa consulted. Mtakumbuka tulipotengeneza Vision 2020, vijana walikuwa ni kundi kubwa sana lililokuwa consulted katika makundi yote. Yawezekana kwamba kutokana na disorganization ya vijana wenyewe, kwamba wale wanaohudhuria katika makongamano kuwawakilisha wenzao, pengine hamna structures za kuchukua mawazo ya vijana wakayaleta kwenye vikao, kwa sababu vijana wanakuwepo na pengine wanapotoka kwenye hivyo vikao hawarudi tena huku kushare na wenzi wao, mkawa na common understanding katika jambo hili. Kwa hiyo hili wizara inayohusika nafikiri imeshalisikia kwamba kuna haja sasa really ya kuwaorganize vijana ili wanapokuwa na ushiriki katika maeneo mbalimbali, basi ushiriki wa kweli, kwamba wanawashirikisha vijana wenzao, lakini wakitoka hapo pia kuna kuweko na feedback mechanism ya kuweza kurudisha mrejesho kule kwa vijana wanaowakilishwa. Inawezekana hilo halifanyiki, lakini hata tulipotengeneza Vision 2050 walishirikishwa sana, kulikuwa na extensive and very intensive consultation, na nadhani hiyo inafanyika katika sera zote. Lakini hili alilolisema ndugu yangu huyo mjukuu wangu, swala la leseni, ni kweli wavuvi tumelipata hili sisi kama waratibu wa shughuli za muungano, ofisi ya makamu wa pili wa rais, tumelipata hilo, na sio hapa. Wavuvi kweli wamekuwa wakilalamika kwamba wanapokata leseni hapa wakienda bara, leseni zao hazitambuliki. Kesho kutwa tarehe 23 naambiwa kwamba hilo limeshapatiwa ufumbuzi, kwa sababu kesho kutwa hapa tarehe 23 mwezi huu tuna kikao cha mawaziri wote wa SMT na mawaziri wa SMZ katika ile kamati ya pamoja, na moja ni kuzungumzia changamoto zote zinazohusu Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Tuna changamoto karibu, nadhani zitakuwa karibu changamoto 11 ambazo tayari tumeshazipatia ufumbuzi. Inawezekana na hili ni miongoni, na tuna sign kesho kutwa kwamba hizo tena sio changamoto. Kwa hiyo tunaendelea kuwa na spirit hiyo ya mashirikiano baina ya serikali zetu mbili ili kuhakikisha wananchi wetu wanaishi vizuri bila vikwazo vyovyote katika Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Naomba hilo muondoke nalo kwamba tunajitahidi kulifanyia kazi, na serikali hizi zinazoongozwa na Mama Samia Suluhu Hassan na Dr. Hussein Mwinyi ziko macho katika kuhakikishia wananchi wanaondokana na hayo. Lakini jingine hili la kulizungumzwa la empowering, nadhani kuna haja ya kuempower vijana, lakini empowering ziko aina mbili. Kuna kuempower vijana kwa skills na knowledge, lakini pia kuna empowering financially, kwamba tayari ameshakuwa na skill, ameshakuwa na knowledge, sasa anahitaji nyenzo ya kuweza kufanyia hayo anayoyataka. Serikali ya Mapinduzi ya Zanzibar inaongozwa na Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, awamu ya 8, imejipanga sana katika swala hilo la kuwawezesha wananchi, hasa vijana, kundi hasa vijana, kuwawezesha kiuchumi, kwa maana kuwapa skills, knowledge, lakini pia kuwapa mikopo nafuu na kuwapa market, kwa maana waweze ku access market. Mambo matatu hayo kama package yanatiliwa mkazo, na hivi sasa kunaandaliwa mpango wa kuunganisha mifuko ya uwezeshaji yote iwe chini ya mfuko mmoja, na tayari wanajua hao kwamba Mheshimiwa Rais hivi juzi amemchagua katibu mkuu maalum atakayehusika na masuala ya kazi na uwezeshaji. Sasa hilo linakwenda sambamba na kuunganisha mifuko yote, lakini kuongeza sasa mtaji wa mfuko huo kwa ajili ya kutoa mikopo nafuu kwa vijana. Nadhani hiyo ni fursa nzuri ya vijana kuja kuchangamkia wakati huo itakapofika. Lakini jingine ni kwamba serikali kupitia mfuko huo italink na banks na other financial institution kuhakikisha kwamba loanable funds zinapatikana kwa wingi. Na Mheshimiwa Rais anasema hatutaki kutoa mikopo midogo midogo, tunataka kumwezesha mtu kama uvuvi apate boti itakayomwezesha kwenda uvuvi wa bahari kuu, deep sea fishing, avue tani kwa tani, na huku kunawekwa infrastructure kwa ajili ya storage, lakini na pia processing ili ku accelerate market access. Nilitaka kuyasema hayo kwa sababu bila ya kuyasema pengine tungeondoka hapa tukawa na wasiwasi kwamba hayo mambo hayajafanywa kazi. Lakini hili la mwisho kabisa, discrepancies baina ya Unguja na Pemba, mimi nadhani amelijibu vizuri sana kijana wangu yule, alisema vizuri sana, ni kwamba hakuna policy inayokandamiza sehemu yoyote katika Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, hakuna. Lakini wakati mwingine kinachotokea ni zile opportunities zinaweza zikawa tofauti. Inawezekana hapa opportunities za soko kwa utalii ni kubwa zaidi. Inawezekana pia opportunity ya soko kwa bidhaa za kilimo hapa ni kubwa zaidi. Bidhaa za uvuvi hapa ni kubwa zaidi. Lakini baada ya kuona serikali ya awamu ya 8, baada ya kuona kuna utofauti huo, kumewekwa incentive package maalum kisheria kwa ajili ya kisiwa cha Pemba. Kwa hivyo investor yote anayekuja na akaamua kuinvest Pemba, kuna special preferential treatment kikodi na kwenye mazingira mengine ili kumfanya awekeze katika kisiwa cha Pemba. Lengo ni kwamba visiwa hivi vyote viwili viende sambamba, kuwe na usawa bila ya kuwepo na hizi discrepancies, na wananchi wote waishi in harmony. Mimi mwenyewe nimeoa huko Pemba, huwa nakwenda huko Pemba all the time. Kwa hivyo nikitaka kupumzika nikiweko kule pia niwe nahisi nayo yapata hapa na kule nayapata vile. Kwa hivyo hilo ndio lengo la serikali la kuhakikisha kuna usawa baina ya visiwa hivi viwili. Baada ya hayo nawashukuru sana na asante sana, lakini la mwisho ni kushukuruni sana naita Pink Hijab Initiative kwa kuja na wazo hili, lakini nawashukuru mabalozi wote ambao we thank you very much. Nawashukuru presenters wetu wote wawili waliotoka Kenya na waliotoka Dar es Salaam. Tumefanya kazi nzuri. Mimi mwenyewe nimesema leo siku nzima ni dedicate hapa, si kwamba hatuna kazi. Tuna kazi nyingi sana, lakini kwa kujua umuhimu wa session hii tulisema tuwepo na tushiriki kikamilifu ili kuweza kujua changamoto zinazowakabili vijana wetu, na of course tumechukua sote hapa, tumechukua notes na tutahakikisha hayo aliyosema basi tunayafeed katika government system ili yafanywe kazi. Nawashukuru sana, asante.
Asante sana Honorable Minister. Na naamini wote tumeelewa na tumesikia the government initiatives, the things that have taken place, the things that are ongoing, na maswali yenu mengi and some of your concerns yameshajibiwa, na at least tunaona mwelekeo and we see the government's direction and the commitment. So kwa hiyo tunashukuru sana. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for clearing that and for offering very detailed information as to the government's plans, government's efforts, government's commitments towards this agenda, and of course the importance of the youth. The key take-homes, importance of the youth to be organized. I think this is the beginning, and we're starting to see that we need for you to be just a little bit more organized, so that whether it's upward down or downward up communication is clear. But as we have been praised, and you have been praised, Tanzanians are very articulate, tunaweza kuongea vizuri. We can express ourselves, and particularly Zanzibari youth, you are active, you are aggressive, and you're extremely articulate, so that's something to take on. It's very positive. The government responses have been clear. Youth are a priority, not just in the blue economy, but for the overall development of Tanzania and Zanzibar specifically, and of specifically the concerns surrounding Pemba. As I mentioned before, Pink Hijab has committed itself and is working hard to take a similar initiative to Pemba very soon. And as I said, the Hadid is working on this as we speak. So we're hoping that tutakaribishwa with open arms as we were here in Pemba as well, but also for Pink Hijab to come back to Zanzibar and continue working with the government in different initiatives that work with youth, but also specifically that work with women. I think that is an area that Pink Hijab is very committed and would like to have more opportunity to work with you. So asanteni sana With that, I would like to have the final activity, which, as I requested very humbly, is a group photo. So as the honorable ministers and the tables and the panelists are going up, I would like to call up the representative from the youth to give a vote of thanks as we're settling for the group photo. Karibuni.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Kwa majina naitwa Izzat Abbas Hamis. Nimesimama hapa kwa ajili ya kutoa shukrani zangu za dhati kwa niaba upande ambao unatoka. Shukrani zangu za dhati kwa Pink Hijab kwa kutuma nafasi hii kama vijana ambao tunatoka upande mwingine, na fursa nyingine kwa vijana ambao wapo Unguja. Kwa hiyo mimi nilikuwa naomba Pink Hijab waje kule Pemba watufanyie na sisi mkutano kama huu. Kwa hiyo asanteni sana kwa zawadi yenu. Shukrani sana, siamini macho yangu kwanza. Asanteni sana.
Baada ya hii picha, naomba niwaite Pink Hijab Youth Team also for a photo with wageni rasmi. Asanteni sana, tunawashukuru. Asanteni sana. Naomba niwaalike wote youth representatives kwa picha ya pamoja.